Well, you viewers asked, and we have delivered. We are running it back. 2K, 4K, 4K with a $400,000 buy-in. Randy, yesterday was a rare treat. Dare I say today is even more of a treat because I kind of thought that maybe it's just going to be a one-off, but we're doing it again. Yesterday we saw a $1.8 million pot. We saw Handz win that one against ST Wang. Tonight, what can we expect? I mean, same shenanigans?
Well, I think ST wants to get Handz back. You know, he's definitely going to be battling him a bit more. Same thing, huge pots over and over again. We also have the pair game going on. We have the Squid Game going on, so lots of side action. But all of our favorite players to watch. This is just a treat.
Explain to me the pair game, then I'll explain the Squid Game to the viewers. Just quickly give us the rundown on that one.
Real quick. So basically, each player has picked 2 pocket pairs, and if they get dealt these pocket pairs, they just have to show down the hand. They don't have to win the hand. They just got to hold the cards, even if they fold. Show it. Everyone will pay them at least $25,000. Some people might have more. We'll find out TBD. So 2 pocket pairs apiece, and then they also pick a suited hand. And if they get dealt their suited hand, so for example, if I pick 8-9 suited, whatever suit, and then you win $50K a piece.
Yeah, it was incredible yesterday. We saw, I think Handz win it twice. He
got
chose
7s and deuces, right?
Correct. He chose 7s and deuces, and then I just jumped in the booth. It happened within 5 minutes. He gets $150,000 thrown his way, and then it took a long time. It was after you had left. And then Xuan looked down on the button with 8-6 of spades. That was his suited hand. So he then got to show that down. He collected $50K from everyone. Randy, it was exactly what we needed it to be. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It really was.
We get more today. I just can't believe we get more.
We get more today. Squid Game, just for those that don't know, 7-handed table. If you win a hand, you get a little squid. And then the last person standing, the last one without a squid, has to pay everyone 10K. It's a 10K bounty kind of thing. So if you're the last man standing, it costs you $60,000, Randy. So you want to get that squid. It makes some major adjustments to the strategy because you basically add a 60K ante to the pot when you are down to the final 2. So it makes for some fun kind of, open jam spots for 300K.
I promise you the Squid Game makes the action so much more crazy, so much more to fun, and you can see currently Handz is already up $770,000. Things are continuing to look good for him.
Wow, that's pretty insane. I mean, he finished up what 1.5, 1.4 last night. Just 2 million over the last 24 hours or so. So a couple of 7-figure stacks. Probably won't take long until Elton says, hang on a minute, I want to cover everyone at the table, and tops up another 600-700K. But for now, here we go. This is what we got. Welcome to the stream. Another kind of special one for the fans, something we're not going to get overly used to. I don't want to.
I hope we do, because these streams are.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I don't want to set myself up for disappointment, Randy. So as and when it's presented to me, I'll enjoy it, and for now, I am enjoying.
First hand underway. 9-8 suited for Handz.
Help him add
Flush draw for Handz.
6-8. Shoot it.
Just gonna take a look at the bounties again.
You know, it's one of the changes for the pair game.
Go on.
Well, Elton, he changed his pocket pairs for this session to deuces and 7s, just like Handz, and also has the 7-deuce suited.
Okay. Sosia's got 6s and 7s. Wang with the 3s and the 8s again. 8s and 9s. That's fun. I like Tan's style. I like that he's chosen like aces and kings, because like not only are you preparing yourself to play a massive pot, obviously, whenever you got aces or kings, but you're also
you want the max tilt.
Yeah, you're just like also gonna get you know, is it even max tilt? Ask yourself this. Imagine you lose the hand with aces, but then you get 150k rebate. So you're like, okay, I'm annoyed that I lost the pot, but I get a little 150 kickback.
Right. I see where your head's at. You're always happy after the hand of aces
That's
and
it.
kings.
That is it. He's a smart guy. Man. 2k, 4k, 4k. Let's go. All right. I'm going to calm down. I'm calm down.
就呢個 flop 啦嚇。
You're gonna get excited soon. Watch.
I just want to wait and see what happens when Tan looks down at 6-8 suited.
做尾有咗 E 嘛。
Well, right now he's looking down at 2 pair.
E 嘛。
He is the pre-flop raiser. Unlikely to
是
get
哪一個位
more
置
from
嘛？
Elton.
一这是一号位嘛？
哦，E 是1號位。OK。
There's a sprinkle.
从这边开始也可以。
你讲英文给他。
We will start the squid round on his button.
Yes, 所以看
So Squid not in play yet, as you just heard.
“那我的是照上哈，下面没有啊。
对啊，说好了嘛。
KK 6688 68都是我的。
Ace 10 for Wang ya.
6688 AK AAKK 68都是你的。
奖一两个。
Gonna make it 10k.
哦，对哦，6个。
我可以，你问我从来没拒绝过你，只要
It's
你
not
开口，
quite there
你
yet,
抓
right,
到对
Randy?
子就
Like
有，都可以，真的。
What?
the madness of the squid.
Well, Squid isn't live yet.
Ah,
It'll be
okay,
live
right.
when it's on Wang Ya's button, I believe, is what Elton
Right.
said.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. Because they draw for it to keep it fair.
Yep.
Do you want to do a little prop bet between you and I? Seeing
You
as
want
these
more
guys
of my
are probably-
money? What do you want now?
No, I mean we can keep it small. Who do you think the first player to win $1 million pot tonight's going to be? I'll let you choose first. I mean, come on, that's fair.
The first player to win $1 million pot.
First dollar person to win $1 million pot, and it doesn't even have to go to showdown, you know. But there has to obviously be $1 million in the middle, and then they win.
Sure. I'll pick Dan Xuan.
Okay, I'll pick this man right here.
Handz?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this the pot right now?
Imagine.
How much we got on the line?
I mean, whatever you want.
Just pick, buddy.
All right, 50.
Okay.
Let's keep it friendly. You don't want to damage the bankroll. Handz is going to get damaged here.
How much play?
Yeah, because I feel like
A lot.
how much you playing? A lot.
130。
130啊。
All right, so 4-bet incoming, I believe. Based on that question alone, how much you playing?
I love the response from Handz because it is. Is it relevant? Yeah, like how much are you playing?
每个破得打光，
It
无
is
限合适。
if he's playing like $500,000.
我倒是
It's a
2000就没
pretty
了。
big difference than
Fair.
1 million. You saw like he quickly folded the ace-5 suited based on the bigger 4-bet.
Thomas in the chat saying Handz came back with less today or he lost. No, not at all. So they've played until God knows what hour in the morning. I'm going to say 11 a.m. And then they come back today, whatever time it was that they started. Obviously, we were streaming the final table. And then they start with fresh stacks, right? It's like new day, new game.
Yeah, fresh stacks. Now, they've already been playing for a little bit before the stream started just now. As you saw the results, you saw Elton was already down 600K. Handz was up about 700 or so. But of course, new day, new stacks.
不然3B 了是吧？
Every time I see a pocket pair, I'm quickly looking to see if there's a bounty up for grabs, but there's not.
一会儿打鱿鱼的时候，低于20万就补码了，啊，
Wang, yeah.
老规矩了。
Flatting in the small blind Jack 5 suited. Might get in trouble here.
他不会一个了。Under 20K, we have to top up. First good game.
Under 20K?
Under 200.
200.
Doesn't look like it's happening to you anytime soon.
Oh, just hearing Elton say under 200K, you have to top up for Squid Game.
That makes sense because there's a huge advantage to the short stack in Squid Game because you can just open jam a lot more.
Yeah, that does make sense.
If you don't like the rules, get out of the game.
That's one way to put it. It's like, oh, the game's too loose with too many action-inducing side games for you? Okay, well, you can go over there if you want.
So Wang, yeah, he check called led this turn card. Must believe that Sosia would just check back a lot on a board that kind of hits the small blind a bit more with like high cards, trying to deny equity right now. But, you know, 15K for 2/7 for a gut shot. Wow. Goes for a raise. That was a bit unexpected. She must feel that the lead is very weak, and she blocks the nutted hands.
你刺激我，你靠不靠？一定不靠对吧？我也挺，
没差一点，
如果多一点点，
对，
但没办法，我觉得这点怎么办？差一点，我知道差一点，我知道他有
打的就是2嘛。
打的。差一点点，
我觉得差个多个15万嘛，差不多。
75万3倍，正好3倍。
Dude, Wang is sick. He's cutting out re-raising
其实我
chips.
已经很少透气了，对吧？桌上换一个人大概率过了，也不是肯定了。
What year are we in, Randy?
2025, where GTO is no longer a thing.
This is giving me flashbacks to cash games from
抓过，我抓过。
2000
老
and
板，谢老板。
你怎么又换？
2001.
Well,
Wow.
she folded, but do you know what just happened?
She just collected 150K, yeah.
Because pocket sevens is her hand of choice for pairs.
那个妇女旁边。
2万5，王爷，快点快点，放个2万5。
Pay me, pay me, pay me. So she raised, folded, yet won more money in the hand due to the pair.
这把鱿鱼开始了，对吧？这把鱿鱼开始了。
But hats off to Wang to make that
I was
lead
about to
bet
say-
3 bet. That was sick.
Wang is happy to flicker 25K. He's like, here, take it.
给你一半。
Especially when he
等于
gets
就是我
shown
自己
the...
是一样。
这不是我的时候。
And to do it with the hand he did on that board,
那
man,
肯定不
that's
对，
it.
你这样要桌上所有人同意才行，要不然谁接？对啊，你现在别人都多
哦，
走了一
对对
份。
对，明白明白，不是跟大家，
对
就是
对是的
说，
这个中了你这么高，谁敢买？谁敢吃啊？
相当于拖一个黑子弟拖一份底嘛。
对对。
Can spread up? Yes, you can.
So it starts now. There we go. You see the squid is in the middle.
Can I also straddle? Oh,
Okay.
Then I fall.
Just a casual 8K straddle.
Oh, look at this. Handz comes with the 25. Wayne's going to flat. Perhaps anticipating some madness behind, although, you know, hand one of the squid isn't as crazy as, you know, once we're down to 2 or 3 players left without a squid, right?
Exactly.
So the first couple of hands we can anticipate some honest poker. One of the things that really impressed me last night, Randy, was ST was down 2 million, but was still playing really disciplined poker. Like, even though he was stuck in spots where maybe other people would just get frustrated and continue to bleed, he played. I was impressed. Like,
Yeah, I've watched a lot of ST. He's always came off as calm and collected. He, plays his game. I think he never gets tilted personally. It doesn't affect him when he's down.
I mean, surely 2 million has some impact.
I mean, like, tilted in a way where it really affects his play. You know, like, he goes from, like, A game to, like, A- or B+. He doesn't go down to D and F territory. 40K C-bet called by the 2 10s.
169 in the middle. That's potentially a dangerous turn card for Handz. 5s could very well be the best hand here. Unblocked spades rather.
Unblock everything.
Yeah, I mean, some of the 6, 7 suited. Wayne's going to have that.
I would think he would want to slow down, but he is betting. Betting as if he's got the best hand, looking for clarity.
Yeah, a bit of value / protection.
It's always tricky doing this out of position. The player in position has a lot of incentive to still continue with draws. Has played though, 2 10s. It's not an amazing spot, but given the price and position, seems like a nice spot to still call.
Wayne's got the check mark. Handz surely going to shut down now after getting called 2 streets.
Yeah, I would think he shouldn't be betting this. He's rarely ever getting a better hand to fold. Take that pot, Wang Heung. And doesn't he
Nice.
also get a little token, you say?
He does indeed, so he's not going to be paying the 60K penalty.
They have custom Squid tokens now? They didn't have these before. At least last time I've seen Squid. I didn't watch yesterday's Squid
They had
game.
these last night, but yeah, this is
Randy,
Randy. This is the Triton Poker Super High Roller Series, baby.
Did you see
You think we haven't got our own custom-made gold squids?
the first time they did the Squid Game during the Cash Game Invitational? It looked like something they just found on eBay.
They have those little squids from Squid Game, right? Have you seen those?
I haven't.
Yeah, they had those last night. They brought those out, but then obviously
Oh, they changed it over.
The team were like, hang on a minute.
But these are really nice. They almost look like those little mini Triton trophies. Hey, remember those card protectors?
Yeah, exactly.
So you notice that Handz is limping 6-5 offsuit, and that's something he wouldn't be doing if it wasn't the Squid Game. Just trying to give himself as much opportunity to hopefully win a Squid, because you just want to avoid paying out that $60,000.
Yeah, you just get to do so much limping, right?
What I really like about Squid Game is I feel like each player has their own approach to it.
Of course.
Some players go for it much harder. Some feel like people are just burning so much money, let me just play a bit tighter. So we'll get to see that develop as the day goes on.
What's going on here? Wang's got a pair of 3s. Both Handz and ST have a gut shot. ST Wang does not want to see an offsuit 4 roll off.
No, but he's praying for that at the moment. I wonder if Wangya will overcall his pair of 3s just because we're playing the Squid Game.
So tough without a backdoor though, right?
Yeah, it definitely is tough, but you know,
电话怎么接受？
you might be thinking, any chance to get a Squid?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
No, I agree, I agree.
Kind of have these implied odds, you know, just not having to pay out. And there's a 6 on the turn. I don't think Handz knows he's got the best hand.
He might. I mean, this was a limped pot. Second pair is often good We'd expect to hear from Ace-X pre-flop at least a lot of the time. Checks through. Well, Handz is going to win this one at Showdown, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to bluff him off of it. It's only 38k in the middle. And this is exactly why you do the limping, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you said only 38k, like it's 38,000 is pretty sick. But I know small pot relative to the blinds, of course.
Maybe I'm just sick, Randy.
Maybe you playing like the 20k, 40k ante somewhere.
Definitely not. No.
Turning the hand into a bluff, overbet. And he has to show it if he wants to collect the squid. So everyone just saw him show this bluff with the best hand.
说我啊，
哇，不能只说自己的，自己打自己，自己说自己。哈哈。
ST 说听你这个话听了10年了，
从来没有打得有问题过。
你每次说这个话就是惹 ST 上头的。
昨天就是被你这句话搞上头了。
有关我事的事情，
我没有这样说啊，我说你这句话说了10年了，天天这样说，天天赢。我们觉得打得没问题，我们天天输。
Well, Jacks now for Wayne. And this is the beautiful thing about Squid.
Man, look at this. Limp trying to trap people behind. He knows more players are desperate right now.
Of course. That's what I was about to say, is once you've collected that squid, you can really capitalize on people's desperation.
是60多。
Elton's so tempted. He doesn't have a squid yet. Good timing to check that one.
Ace, Queen, Deuce. Elton flops best. Very disguised top pair. Wayne obviously checking it on over. Now that he's seen the 2 over cards. 6 changes nothing. So this is drawing dead, as is ST Wang. Ah, snap fold from Wayne.
Yeah, with this board, not much you can do.
简单的很呢。
There's the ace, 7 being shown.
这不简单啊。
啊，你赢大了就回去就很麻烦。这就是我一直输的秘诀。
什么？
他说他打了有问题。
没有，我说我上电视就输，上电视就输，为表示安全嘛。
对呀。
王爷，比如说上个电视赢个500、700的，哇擦，裂开回去。
没关系，这游戏必有方面。
很危险。
很危险。
回去被枪毙了的。
枪毙。
So down to 4 in the Squid Game. So now this is kind of the tipping point, right? There's 4 left. There's only 3 squids remaining. You do not want to be the last person without the squid. That is getting to that point where we may see some madness.
That's why you see ST already, thinking about playing 10-6 offsuit, which he flats.
And this is where people like Elton get to capitalize.
Yeah, I feel like Elton is a bit of a squid specialist. He's really thought about the game. He loves going for it, and he loves attacking people who don't have squids. Because he knows they're V-pipping a much larger range. You see Wang opening ace-4 offsuit early position, 10-6 offsuit flat. So if you just keep re-raising them, and they have to fold their bad hands, they're just slowly depositing money before the Squid Game is over. So sometimes people chase hard, and they end up losing more than just 60k being the last one. Oh my god. He just 4-bet ace-4 off?
He did indeed.
I'm really curious how Elton responds to this.
The thing that I'm loving about this, Randy, is you said, you know, it's 2025, but in this game, theory has kind of gone out the window. This is more of a leveling war right now. This is a, I know that you know that I should be wide here, and that you're going to be exploiting me a lot with a 3-bet. So now I'm going to come back over the top with a 4-bet.
Yeah.
Come on, stop it.
He's counting his stack, but instincts and guts, very important in this game.
Give me 300 more.
300 more requested, and the ace-4 is going to be shown. Oh, he forgot to show!
哎呀！
我是等他牌丢进去我才说的。
我也看见了，我也不说
我是
话
没。看到啊。哎呀
No way, Randy. He was so excited
我其实没有知道要罚多少，但是我
about getting the 4-bet bluff through that he forgot to show. That could be a $60,000 mistake.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Because he would have played that hand in the first place if it wasn't the Squid Game.
Wow. Well, let's see if Wang can dig himself out of this hole, this self-induced hole. That's how things stand. Biggest winner of last night.
不是，我
Handz,
听
who
他
finished
说要
up
加
just shy of
码什么的，
1.4
我
million,
就是
is currently the biggest winner on the night here.
你真的是厉害，我真的是。然后他又什么补了一句什么东西，真的是上头，我真的是。
不况我是我本来都已经有。
Wang has potentially lit $60,000 on fire. TBD.
全香港最聪明的就是你。
关我，你拿的关我没事啊。
肯定有。哦，对，
我已经有了，关我什么事啊？
有一点关系嘛，没有就打的会。
第一次跟他们打鱿鱼的时候
Sosia needs to play some hands soon.
你记得吧？
我知道。
他妈的真的是上头。
什么意思？
我第一次在第一次打鱿鱼，
7-8 suited for Elton
3
Tsang.
次嘛。
哦，你只要说了没人告诉你，你又同意指纹啊？
就跟你一样的嘛。
哦，就是总共发生了3次。对。啊，真的是优秀，我操！
老是忘记嘛。
Okay, so one player without a squid.
而且你们
One
前
player
面
with
罚款这个东西
Elton just topped up 300k,
什么罚款？
就是什么
and he's flopped top 2.
我都不知道。
哦，你都不知道
我。大概听到你们说这些事情，但是多少钱是不是决定了我都不知道。但是为了公平，他逼着我才说。
我没看到，我要
Wow,
看到我
check, check.
我肯定告诉你，罚就罚一条，无所谓。
Elton trying to trap.
有道理啊。对。那我做人有问题。
No more trapping. This turn card.
Yeah, it's getting a bit too wet out there, Andy.
唉，现在抢不到了是吧？
我们两个做的经理，我要是忘记了你。
And obviously Elton doesn't need to show because he already has a squid.
不用你咳嗽一下就行。
其实真不关我事。
对。
So here we
那
go.
理论上你肯定是
People that have only
如果
just
都
joined
没人
us.
抢，还肯定有。
So you see the 2 pairs that everyone's chosen. If they get dealt that hand, regardless if they win at showdown or not, they get 25k from everyone else at the table. If they get dealt their suited hand, again, regardless if they win at showdown or not, all they need to do is be dealt that combo.
差不多。
They win $50,000 from everyone else at the table, Randy. Just 300k between friends, you know?
6 opponents. That's 150 or 300k.
就现在 EV 肯定没有这么高嘛，但是
Sosia gonna try to get in there. Ace 5 offsuit.
昨天那盘，双鬼。
ST also squidless.
3个。
There's the squid hunter. Look at all this. Are we going family?
不用看了，都埋伏你一个人。
叶问。
Ace deuce. Gotta check because he doesn't know if anyone's trapping him.
牌力特别差。
那你不了解。
And this
真的有，
over limp
就是他埋伏的，我跟你说。
from Handz on the button with the Queen 8-0 is purely just like a defensive tactic, right? Oh wow. Yes, he's just nailed this.
He's got the squid coming.
Yeah.
上头啊。
Near impossible for him to lose this one.
I feel like you're more likely to bet when you don't have a squid because you do want to take down the pot if necessary, not let some running hearts kind of mess you up. More likely you would go for a trap if you already have a squid.
Let's see if the deuce. No,
Good
not
lay down.
interested. Sosia doesn't have one. Don't forget that.
Ace of hearts.
想一下。
She's thinking about making a play. 'Cause she knows
Oh,
the
no.
squidless must fight the other squidless.
That's crazy. That's just absurd.
Yep, still got trips.
俾支水啊，唔該。
Yeah, Sosia is basically just hoping the ST was stabbing. Was just gonna let it go.
And she can credibly rep a 10.
Yep, I
哦
agree.
弄回来个茶，
Is he clicking it?
跟沙巴哥一样的那个茶。
Because he's taking back all his chips. He went with call.
Well, perhaps no heart on the turn has actually helped Sosia to just shut this one down.
Yeah, it feels like she has to just let this one go. There's still multiple players without squids. She doesn't need to force this anymore. I mean, there's just a good chance ST has a 10 to bet call into 6 players. But she doesn't think ST's got the 10.
以前没觉得，你以前没觉得是吧？
我就觉得，但是你说。
Man, just running good like a few hands in a row during the Squid Game can literally make or break your session.
Yes, of course.
You just get one person that doesn't have a squid going bombastic on like a random board where you just have it. Dude. I mean,
This
going on?
feels a little forced right now by Sosia. She's gotten called again. She's gotta think ST's got the goods. That's actually kind of bad. Because now she's picked up showdown value.
Yeah, and just in case she was up against like, I don't know, like Queen 9 of Hearts, Jack 9 of Hearts that was like calling, you know?
I think ST could have just naked hearts, yeah. Just because he's squidless, he's gonna peel more. So if ST size is small enough, he might get paid on river. For now though, it's does Sosia want to block? Not a big fan of blocking, to be honest.
She does block 10%. Why don't you like blocking? Because I feel like if you did have a 10 with this run out, you would want to block, no?
A 10? Yeah, but you depends on how you block, I suppose. I mean, what are you afraid of clubs? You're saying? There's not that many clubs in ST's range, right?
Club spec here's, I think there's a decent amount. Some that, you know,
Like what?
Stab flop that.
Calls check raise
Yeah, that have
Six
backdoor
ways?
clubs. No, it wasn't 6 ways though, was it?
on flop.
No, it wasn't 6 ways on the flop. When he gets check raised, they're heads up. So he could easily just like stab with Jack 9 of clubs. Right, something with some interactiveness around the 10.
Yeah, I guess it's possible. It just seems a bit ambitious.
I don't think these guys have got to where they are in life, Randy, without a bit of ambition, you know?
I hear you.
We're playing 2K, 4K, 8K. I think all of these guys are probably ridiculously ambitious. Just going to call.
Yeah, it sounded like he feels like he was up against a king, potentially. And there wouldn't be much hands at that call. But SC does get rewarded there with the squid. That was a bit costly for Sosia.
Self-inflicted.
A bit.
Similar to the 7s as well. That felt unnecessary. She was one of the biggest winners in the game last night.
没有，那你要看他怎么想。就是他如果有考虑这个，有可能有，但他不一定有考虑这些东西。也不是很多，后面加个30-40。因为他们这种，我觉得包装什么的意义不大。股份也不大，因为他们。
Not a bad hand when you're squidless, King Jack offsuit. Remember, this is the guy that should have a squid.
Oh, it's shadow. Okay, yeah.
Here we go. This is good for my prop bet.
This is huge for you, actually. We know Handz is never folded.
Man, it's crazy to think the difference the straddle makes as well. Like, it makes the opening size 25k, which then just opens the door for the 3-bet to be close to 6 figures. And this is all pre-flop.
Great news.
Yeah, Jack high flop. Beautiful development for Wang Ye. Handz with that ace of spades. Don't think he'll be going anywhere unless Wang Ye bombs it, Randy, which he's not going to. He's gone small.
Yeah, I would expect him always to continue, especially with 2 overs to the board.
Could also just have the best hand, right, given the dynamic.
Exactly. Lots of potential turn cards. I think most importantly, he's in position, which allows him to react to Wang Ye, who has to act first.
296 in the middle. 7 of diamonds on the turn. Changes nothing. This one looking likely to be going Wang Ye's way.
I feel like if this was a squidless pot, he's more likely to check in this spot. Looks like he still will, but definitely more incentive to bet when you're seeking a squid. I wonder if ace-queen feels the need to stab at some point. Maybe try to kill like an ace-king.
Handz declines, takes a free river, and that is potentially a troublesome river, Randy. Pairs the board, ace-queen high. Wang Ye wouldn't bet a hand like ace-king here. He wouldn't turn a hand like ace-king into a bluff. So when he does bet after checking turn, it's pretty polar, right? It's like what hands check turn that then bet river.
I mean, it does feel like it would be tethered to a lot of value if he was to bet right now. But Wang is not going to bet. He's hoping to induce from spades or queen 10, queen 9. Very nice pot. He showed this time. Well, he showed it down, so I suppose he's forced to get the squid.
Yeah, he didn't want to get put in the blender.
圈丝也分钱了，什么也可以发生。
你们为什么要这么纠结呢？大概率都不会忘记的。
Went into check call mode.
但是规矩都是你们来定的话，肯定是不对的嘛。
Oops, a nice
规矩应
one.
该都是 ST 来定的，凭什么变成你们来定？
How are the viewers doing, Randy? You've been keeping tabs?
They love the stream. That seems to be the consensus. Love cash games. Do let us know. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe.
There we go.
And just tell them we always want cash games after every tournament. Maybe we can try to accommodate.
哎呀，他不会忘，我搞不懂去聊这个东西干嘛？不带忘就不带忘，4个小时也无所谓，带忘也可以，我无所谓。你们定。
Like I absolutely love watching these cash games because I primarily come from a cash game background, and just watching these little side games just makes it so much more interesting.
What were some of the side games that you had back in the day? Is there any that you recall?
Not that I personally play, but obviously way back then the main one was just 7 deuce. You know?
Yeah.
不能忘记，你说你很容易忘记。
Trust poker players to take a game like poker and then be like, you know what? There's not enough variance in this. Let's add some, you know, additional ways to ramp up the variance.
That's the easy one for Xuan. So, do you see what's happening, Henry? That's payment.
Oh, that's it, right? Just like that. Okay. I didn't even realize it had gotten down to heads up.
It was Xuan versus Sosia, and Tan just took it down pre. 60K gone.
上去3个差不多。
Squid Game is a different animal. If you play
收了吗？
就是
the
忘了也
same
算。
style and ranges as if it didn't
这
exist,
鱼收了没有？
对，鱼肯定
you will
进
get
去啊。
crushed.
收了鱼
Yeah.
吗？
You really will.
鱼钱没收
Yeah,
啊。
it's
I know
true.
some people that play this high stakes, and
付了吗？
they
哦，那就收了吧，应该。我不知道，再聊。
there's big edges to be had if your opponents don't know what to do.
As much as I'd love to talk theory with you, Randy.
Okay.
没事。
There's
seeing-
something funny out there.
Stand-up game and then
Well, a really nostalgic comment in the chat from Bobby Riggs saying I can still hear Jay Carve singing Nanonoko. I do miss Jay Carve, man. Jeez. What a legend. I remember listening to you two when I was not trying to make you feel old here, but
I'm feeling it.
I must have been like 15, 16 back in the
15?
day.
You were in high school?
You guys were just commentating on, you know,
You're a baby.
tournaments around the world. I used to fire up your tables and just like have the chat open, you know. Oh man, it was brilliant.
No need to make me blush, Henry.
Remember listening to, watching. They did this like documentary on some of the people that achieved Supernova Elite, right?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
that's right.
there's some fun bits in there. Yeah.
打的话，他有牌会 call。
Look at us now, Randy.
Look at us now.
Look at us now, buddy.
I'm happy. Things are good.
Life is good.
no.
As Nacho likes to say, I wake up, I look in the mirror, it's still me, I'm already winning.
Is that his saying?
That's his new saying from yesterday's stream.
有可能会 call 的，哎，就是都可以。
So Handz wins the very first squid.
Not today.
Pocket
Of the new round?
sixes. Unfortunately,
You could choose something, I think.
not his bounty hand.
Would probably be the thing at the table.
1 pip off, right?
It is indeed, he chose deuces and sevens. I think it's smart to pick something that you'll remember. Like 7 deuce, you're always going to remember the 7s and deuces, and then the 7 deuce suited. Aces and kings, also another kind of easy one to remember.
Oh, yeah, I like aces and kings.
Although I do feel like aces and kings could actually cost you in a weird way. Like imagine you're involved in like a really big pot, you know, and you just put in the blender on the river and you just kind of just forget about the side game because the pot is just so big. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, imagine like you have a set on a flush board, you hero fold, you're like, I don't want anyone to see this.
Right.
You just
exactly.
get burnt.
Yeah, there could be some situations like that. Queen 8-7, 46k in the middle. Sosia does not want to pay it twice. Does have the best piece.
Your bets definitely work at a much higher frequency early in the round of Squid, so you can see the Jack-8 just taking it down. Gotta feel good not having to pay the next Squid.
And that's right, I do appreciate people in the chat sharing the knowledge. The last person standing, basically the person remaining at the end without a squid, has to pay $10,000 to all the other players.
ST, 9-6 offsuit on the button. Look at the sizing.
Oh, well, unlucky, mate.
Lose an extra few thousand just because you're trying to go for the squid.
We got Big Lick against Big Slick. Love to see it.
No flop incoming, I'll tell you that.
Well, Randy, there was a few times where I said that yesterday. And then
Well, I'm not allowed to ignore you?
and then all of a sudden there was 300k in the middle. I was like, okay, well, here we go.
Elton always gets his squids really early. Surely Ace King was just dealt to him, but
昨天不刚付了一次吗？
肯定会有的嘛，怎么可能？
就不用以前了，对吧？
对，
这个不可能没有的嘛。你问
So
应该
who's
问
without
柜子有没有输过钱？
ST and Wang Ye, yeah?
there should be,
Oh, and Tan.
yeah, 10.
不是，先踢再赢，不是赢的时候踢。
Well, Tans on pace to get one.
Elton just going to flick in the call here on the button.
Doesn't look like Wayne. Oh, does Wayne have one? No, right?
Oh, no, he doesn't. You're right.
Yeah, so
还好最多就一只
people
没
got it.
事。
4 people.
Four, yeah.
So quite a bit of ways.
This is the fun stage,
不
the
中谁
tipping
防啊
point.
真的
How about that flop?
走的挺好的。
Queen 10-7, middle pair, nut flush draw for Elton. Down with the 2 overs. Broadway draw.
Yeah, it's actually a solid board for Tan as well. Start firing 12K.
Elton just coming with call. Tan giving him a bit of a stare down, Randy.
Uh-oh.
Elton's turned the nuts.
This is bad for Tan.
Really is. Tan drawing to the second nuts. 54k out there. This is good for your prop bet, though. Oh, no, it's not, because he has to win. Sorry, my bad. That was an unintentional needle.
This is actually quite the solid card for Tan to multi-barrel with his hand. Can't blame him.
He agrees with you, Randy, but it's a really small bet. What is this designed to do? Just like fold out, like pocket eights?
I can fold out 7x, right? 10x without backup. Could see it. It feels like he's setting up a triple barrel, assuming the board doesn't change too much, to try to also attack those 10x if they do have a heart with it. It's not a good river card to consider a triple barrel, though, just because Elton could connect with that 10.
Yeah, Tan shuts down. Elton's going to look to extract some value, but not going to happen, of course.
Even though the board paired, it's nice that he's holding 10 to block some full houses.
What's that? Around 75% pot. Thereabouts. This would be something else. He would need to put Elton on a hand like Ace Jack, Ace of Hearts, King Jack, Jack of Hearts. Relevant.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's more thinking about heroing or considering some kind of check raise bluff.
Against this size, I feel like more inclined to just hero, right? Because it is pretty polar. It's on the larger size. I think with this,
Yeah, leaning towards call or
yeah,
fold.
this body language now, it's yeah, he's paid him off.
Bye-bye chips.
Elton's got paid.
Showed one at a time.
Showed the 10 of hearts first.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, he did. 252k pot going Elton's way.
变小了，从花变3条。
对。哎，少输了，少输了，少输，少输了，不能少输。
H 啊
，K， 这 K 啊，还有个红牌。
Seems like Elton thought Xuan had ace queen.
红到 A 就好起来了。
你有一对 K？ 啊？你有一对
K？AK， 一个 K 怎么合理？
少输喽。
We are live, for those asking. Of course, we're on a delay to protect the integrity of the game. Today we crowned our 3rd champion of the Triton Super High Roller Series here in Montenegro. None other than Nacho Barbero taking down his 3rd trophy. And of course, tomorrow we're going to be bringing you coverage of a very, very fun event, the 40k Mystery Bounty.
What is one of the envelopes invitation to this game?
You just get
You force play.
one of the envelopes is a buy-in. You get one. Oh, mate, that'd be so sick. That would be cool.
The 400k bounty is you must play this game.
That would be brilliant. And you have to play for at least 6 hours.
Yeah.
Oh man. Unless you bust your stack, obviously, but yeah. That would be really cool.
And if you bust your stack and they show the pair, you have to take out of your bankroll to pay out the extra bounty.
Oh man.
It could be the only way where you win an envelope but you lose money.
I've had some brutal ones like that, Randy.
Yeah?
Yeah, one of my friends' games back home in Phuket. It was one of those nights where they're just losing every pot, and it's getting to the point where we normally cut off. We normally cut off around like 2, 3 a.m. It's like, okay, let's do one more stand-up game. And I lose the stand-up game. On the last hand of the stand-up, I get stacked as well. So then, like, everyone's kind of like awkwardly quiet because I've just been stacked. We're about to end the game. And then my friend goes, yeah, Henry, you need to also pay, you know? And I literally just turned around, looked at him, I was like, mate, put it in the group chat. I don't want to hear it right now. I'm out of here, you know? We'll settle tomorrow. But yeah, it's the last thing you want to hear. And also everyone feels really awkward because you've just been stacked, you know? And they're like, hey, mate, you do realize what that means, right?
已经很好运了，他妈不发个 A 出来，还咋的？
发个 A 出来。
Yeah, Handz is the biggest winner of the night so far. He was the biggest winner last night as well. Won 1.4 million. Won a $1.8 million pot with an incredible hero call. I highly recommend you watch that stream back after today's coverage.
Little gut shot for Wang, yeah. Try to win that squid with 10k. That wasn't too difficult.
Okay, so who's left?
打不过这个嘛，不用讲了。
Tan? Tan hasn't got one.
你看看啊，
Wayne doesn't have one.
And ST?
And ST does not have one.
That's a fun trio, bro.
对。不是，我不是。
It's a fun trio.
我说靠这个同花的回水也挺好的。
对，速度比较快。
一定挺好呀！我操，这太好了。加注我都有点慌。
Is this straddle kind of hurting ST in a way?
I'm trying to think.
Do you know what I mean?
Is it hurting him?
It feels like he'd want to keep the pot smaller.
I believe he thinks it's helping him. I don't know why, because I remember this kind of coming up where certain players were straddling more when they didn't have squids.
Okay.
I need to give it a little bit more thought.
Sure, take your time, man. 68k in
Maybe
the middle.
It dissuades more people from entering the pot, so he's up against less players because he's the one, you know, closing the action.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tan's flopped middle set. King 9-5 rainbow. Elton with gut shot. Backdoor clubs. Continues for south of third.
Middle set's looking sweet. Kind of interesting spot because he wants to check raise to build a pot, but he also doesn't want to check raise and let ST get away, who's squidless, who might just make some very loose call. Gonna go for check raise.
How deep are we?
$1 million.
Yeah, we're plenty deep. I don't think Elton can go anywhere just yet. In position.
Yeah, especially with backdoor clubs.
Agreed. Especially on a rainbow texture as well, where your 10 out is just clean.
Exactly. And there are instances where even if he doesn't improve, he gets the opportunity to steal from Tan, who might have other straight draws that gives up. But it looks like he doesn't want to, based on how he's holding it. Just a little bit too rich.
He didn't show his hand.
你是真不想要？
He has a squid, doesn't he? Or does he not?
No, he
Oh,
doesn't.
they're laughing at him. This is the second time Elton's laughed.
我看你播的特别自然，我就一点都没有往这上面。
我还以为是我看不见呢。
哎呦，他跟我一样嘛，自己在打就特别容易忘，特别是你这个。
Elton 那么开心，其实应该是 Wang 和 SC 最开心。可是
This is what I'm
也
saying.
有点关系嘛。
This is what makes it so fun. Is when you have a legit hand, you don't want to show. You're so focused on the hand that you forget that you're playing the Squid Game. It's brilliant.
对着我打，
对，然后打完就
都是 check raise 我 fold 掉就钱都不要了。
I can't believe it's happened twice already.
Yeah.
就打你，
I'm
脑子
surprised.
就往怎么打你上面
They're
想，
in poor form.
都没有想着要拿鱼这个
And
4楼。
that one by Tant was really bad because there's only 3 people without a squid at the moment.
没输多少啊，又打了再猜了一下，输了几万块。
我输不少，是4万块，怎么不少？
Well, perhaps he's going to be able to redeem himself here. He's on the button, in position, has a gut shot. ST just has queen high. I mean, 1 over to the board. It's just impossible, right? Yeah.
谢谢老板。
You gonna show that one?
生不生气啊？
他妈的，这还能忘记？你真的是，你当我是猪来着？你他妈的真。
我这个
啊？
这个理论上不算，但是
他也没说
有嫌疑。
啊？你那
找
个
法官去了。他妈的对我有什么好处？我也搞不懂，你们在说什么东西？真的是。
我知道，但是你
Translate, please,
你
Randy.
就是
It sounds like a
Listening.
heated
Let me
exchange.
Focus, buddy.
有点急的啊。
不过这把他确实是对自己。
I've learned exactly nothing.
不过你这把
Pretty
再
heated
忘
exchange there.
鱿鱼可以加一条。
They're having good fun.
哎呀，
Max value in the chat
这个有
saying
忘记的
Elton's
挺好
got the
玩的
super villain laugh. He does indeed. It's brilliant.
Like, I find, like, these guys, when, even though they're winning or losing big pots, they're, like, just willing to needle the other player, you know? Whereas in some other parts of the world where if someone loses a huge pot, they're just like, let's just keep it
Yeah.
silent, let them deal with it on their own. But like Elton, Tan, Wang, ST, they're just trying to put the pain on one another.
这个打法你平衡就行。
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It is good fun to watch. Like yesterday, they were even slow rolling the prop bets, right? Like they would get dealt their hand and then they'd pretend to be in like a big tough spot.
Wayne did that the other day. That was hilarious.
Do you know what Wayne also did?
教的多嘛。
There was one where it was his prop hand. He's shown one, and then he's asked everyone if they want to buy out. And of course, nobody accepted. So then he shows the other. He's like, "Okay, 25k, pay up, guys." That's a really good strategy.
有个气泡水，sparkling water。
Elton's turned a winner. Does not want to see a queen, by the way. No, I certainly don't either. Given that Randy and I have
国内这种东西很
prop bets of our own.
更容易出来。
这个是另外一个，就是按这个规则来说，我觉得一般玩过的人都会
So we got a pair and a gut shot. Tough game.
How's he found a limp raise? A check raise on this turn card. These guys are so tough to play against.
Yeah, and it's especially tough just given how
至
deep
少我
they
这
are.
无限有一笔无限
Every
优势
street, there's an opportunity for
无论
raises
这
and
种
multiple
让锅啊
barrels,
火
you
牌
know?
啊
It's
或者
not
是
like
这
20
种
big blind poker where
还波动啊
the hand is basically defined here and now. You always have to worry about
就是完全
your
跟这个
opponent
没
making a
关
big
系
move or big play. And look at the ace-10 is
Yeah, thank you.
peeling
This one
here.
is finished.
It's not a great draw on this board at the moment to bet call.
这个比赛法就带一点刺激，但不是核心这种，不是什么强气牌手条，然后
I don't know if Elton can continue betting, turning his hand into a bluff.
Especially on this river, right?
It's a bad river card.
$182K in the middle.
How's he
Elton's
still
reaching for
betting?
chips.
Man, this is some good poker. 130K? Bluffing with the best hand? Is it over? Unclear.
Why has ace-10 not hit the muck yet, Randy?
Well, man, ace-10 didn't hit the muck on the turn after bet calling. Looks like he will hit the muck.
Well played, Elton. Bluffing with the best hand. Chat Pro saying Tan versus Elton is the El Clasico of cash games. That's a good way to put it. I like that. That's a good matchup.
I mean, we've gotten to witness them play so much throughout the 2 different cash game invitationals here in Montenegro. The history is real between the two. They've been playing a long time with each other, even before we've streamed these Triton games, you know?
They were some of the existing main characters. Wang Heung still without a squid.
So is it
in
Wang
the straddle.
versus ST?
It is.
And you also notice that Wayne is straddling without a squid too.
Yeah.
So that seems to be the consensus at the table.
Just want to check the suited hands again. Okay.
Not this one, right?
Not this one, no.
Wang did call it a 3-bet. Queen Jack suited, flops best. However, there's an ace out there, and Tan should be looking to start this one off the C-bet as he was the pre-flop 3-better. Could fold out a lot of pocket pairs that would have called lower than the jack. If you got this bar of Queen Jack, should be peeling 1, even without the backdoor flush draw.
It's never comfortable, is it though, Randy? I mean, look, there's 2-5-8 in the middle already. You've got middle pair and a 3-bet pot. That pesky ace on board, and like you said, no backup in the form of backdoor flush draw. See if Tan wants to barrel off here. He has a pretty good combo to do it with, Randy.
He sure does. Of course, he has clean outs to make the straight. He's got overs to the jack in case the jack does hero call. He blocks the very best top pairs, ace-king, ace-queen, mainly ace-queen. He unblocks the clubs that would check call flop and check fold turn if they're unpaired to go along with it. It's a pretty good high frequency double barrel in this spot, especially very deep stack. Even if he gets called here again, if it blanks out, he can really consider a triple barrel.
$153K turn barrel. You're there with middle pair in a 3-bet pot. Hijack versus +1. Yeah. Tan is just a pit bull.
做成功。
That's the thing about Tan, Randy, is sure you're playing 250 bigs, you know, with $1 million stack, but he's going to leverage it. He's going to leverage that stack at any given point. So the show goes on with the squid.
Being out of position against Tan this deep, this thick, this is home for him. $10-9 suited for Sosia. Well, ST's got kings and no squid. Wayne's not going to like that.
Have you got anything else in the form of pairs? I don't think so, right? It's only Tan with aces and kings.
That's right. ST's now thinking, let me win the pot plus get that squid.
Hold on.
Eights for Elton. Wow. I'm not sure he's going to lay it down because ST's squidless.
Yeah, but Elton's $1 million effective against Handz, so it's not like he's just going to rip it in here.
No, not rip it, but he might 4-bet. He might cold call to 3-bet. I know cold calls isn't that common, but they happen a bit more when you're playing 200 to 300 big blinds deep. It's just a different dynamic with squid.
Oh, he's going to ISO, Randy. There's the ISO for 110,000. And surely ST has to be aware of this now, right? This dynamic, and just rip it in.
Yeah, he can definitely rip this one in. I know Wayne thinks it's pretty good that Elton's code 4-betting, but obviously ST's got the goods. Can he just call? If he thinks Elton's playing back at him, then surely call is pretty decent.
差一点就打过了。
But it doesn't hurt to jam and take down the squid and kick out like an ace-X that might be cold 4-bet bluffing against you too, given that you guarantee you don't pay out 60K on top. I think he probably jams, given how deep he is. He knows queens, jacks, tens, probably not folding.
Maybe in a hand like ace queen.
Consider it. He jams. This is pretty disgusting.
50道。
也可以靠第二强，你不是一定靠不动，有没 A 嘛？
9K 啊？
没有，有对。
Not what Elton wanted to see. Sure, he is beating ace-king, but there's a lot of bigger pairs than eights that will jam in this spot. Good fold. He showed, right?
He did. He pretended to muck it and then showed. So picks up that one. Wayne has to pay 10K to everyone else. And through no fault of his own, by the way. I mean, Wayne was just card dead the entire time. Like, I feel like there's nothing he could have done.
Yeah, at least he didn't press it and lose more unnecessarily.
啊，这个鱼是结束了，再打一个鱼。
Button moves, yeah.
我感觉他想站起来走了。
The button move.
我打的有问题，
You
我
just
靠
have
你
to
才对。
accept the fact that
我说我有
sometimes you
问
just
题啊。
will lose the squid round
你
and
哪里有问
minimize
题
the
啊？
damage accordingly.
不是不倒翁吗？这么倒的。
你那个
拨一下你就裂开。
你那个酸菜的淘宝买的，其他
That's
都
a
是
740k stack not too long ago.
打的有问题啊！妈的，啊，零封4比。
没问题，你也不会请教练的嘛。肯定是有问题才请教练嘛。我们打的都没问题，所以都没请教练。
So it's on, right?
请教 STO。
It's on again.
Yes on
我可以
again。
教你 K 六怎么推熬夜。
对啊，K 能力教很厉害。啊。
Matthew Fox saying, what is the size of the squid? It's 10k to each player. We've already had 2 misclicks
I know.
where someone won the hand but then forgot to show. You have to show at showdown. All of these dealers are trained to not help the player in revealing their hand until they've either mucked their hand or shown.
Telling you, Elton always gets his squid very early.
我操！
哎呦，
要不要钱啊？
Squid
还好
professional.
换了，还好换了。
我操！吓死
换了，
人！
对我也是吓一跳。
还得秀出来，我操！
That was your hand yesterday.
哦，难怪说打的有问题，
这是选的有
选的有问题。
Oh, did you hear that? That was Elton's hand
没
yesterday.
问题，你不是打的有问题。
King Queen suited.
Yeah, it was actually. I remember.
That's why you don't change.
改来改去。
改的有问题。
真没有问题。这个牌不该是比你的。
And yes, the Squid Game is auto-repeating.
跟呢？
5、6通话。
啊
？5、6通话。
That's a call.
一对在手里。
我付了你就没问题，我弹回来你就有问题了。
对啊，你 full 了就打得好了，你 all in 了我就有问题了。
Baby suited connector decides on limp.
你跟了我有点机会。你跟了。
I have a question, Randy.
Hit me.
What if 2 players chop the pot?
哎
I believe no one wins the
呀
squid.
No one gets a squid.
Pretty sure.
Oof. Okay.
And if they get it all in and they want to run it twice, then only the first run out
Yeah.
is the squid.
Okay, that makes sense. I know that rule, yeah.
Look at Xuan. He's like, I don't want to be near the end of the Squid Game without the squid. Let me just get one now while people are a bit more tame.
I don't think Handz has limped to limp fold the suited combo.
You're right.
He's going to get rid of the offsuit hands. Heads up to a flop. Handz in position here. 84k in the middle. Inflated, courtesy of Handz. What was it? 7x? 8x?
About 8x. Advantage hands.
Diamondless. 10-8-4.
Tan looking to muscle his way through on the flop. I mean, Handz has got his piece with backdoors with position. Seems like call is the only way to go here.
I want to assume, Randy, that this is a one and done with the ace deuce of diamonds, but then I'm also aware of the fact that this is Tan Xuan.
Yeah, I would say that's a really poor assumption to go with.
Thanks. I agree.
Yeah, so the queen overcards the board. He has absolutely nothing. But he might find a way to win this. He's very creative. I feel like he might stab like a third pot here. Trying to kick out this middling stuff. Yeah, exactly that.
And it's just, it's the tan effect. It's one of those spots where Handz is sat here with bottom pair. And if it was against someone perhaps a little bit more passive, who's like, okay, this guy gives up a lot of rivers, like there's a really high chance that I call and then I just get to check at showdown. But when it's tan, there's no guarantee in that. You can't expect the guy to just shut down on river cards.
Yeah, when his gun is loaded, it has unlimited ammo.
180.
But Handz is pressing with a raise. He's sick. His turn game is really strong. I've seen Handz make a lot of plays on the turn and really attack weak bet sizes. He did it the other day. Well
That's
done.
really impressive.
Show it.
That is really impressive.
I think Tan's going to take that one personal a little bit.
Wow.
Get shown that play. Because Tan's bet was pretty good. He was very well aware where Handz was at. He just got one upped.
Do you know the real sick thing, Randy? Is you and I have a prop bet for the first $1 million pot, and it's between those two. And I think that might have just added the perfect amount of fuel to the fire for that to become a reality.
I think we chose well.
Yeah, we did. That was fantastic. I want to give a quick shout out whilst the dealer's shuffling. 4.6 thousand of you watching over on the Triton Poker YouTube channel. Appreciate you keeping myself and Randy company here for this cash game special, 2K, 4K, 4K. Drop us a like, by the way. I'm seeing only 288 likes over on YouTube. It would be great if we could get that up to 1,000 by the end of the night. Of course, that'd be your way of showing some support to this world-class poker production that Triton Poker keeps on providing you free of charge. Is this Sosia's pair, by the way, Randy, in the props? Does she have 7s and 8s? That would make sense. Or was it 6s and 7s?
6s and 7s. She might get aggressive here. She's one of the shorter stacks at the table. Squidless. I like this. Pretty solid play. Try to get out of the payment of the squids at the end. Doesn't shake Elton, but Elton's in horrible shape with the underpair. I mean the undersuited pair.
Queen 6 tray. That's enough of a piece for Elton to potentially stick around.
Quite nice for Sosia in a sense. Being up against 7-6 of clubs. It often gets to showdown relatively cheaply. There's probably one little bet coming in. Elton shouldn't need to turn his hand into a bluff. Wants to try to pick off unpaired hands.
She's come less than 25% pot.
Fruit first, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the strawberries, you know, they're important. Obviously going nowhere. Things getting scary. Sosia's 8s now. 200k in the middle.
Both should perceive the ace as a bad card. More so in Sosia's range, but she has a hand that has some showdown value against 6x. Elton's got to hate the ace, of course. This run out for both is disgusting.
Yeah, it really is. Sosia is going to be absolutely thrilled to win this one at Showdown. Let's see if Elton allows her. I mean, if he sees another check in front of him, he may just read this for 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks. He's got one of those fake showdown type holdings, right?
Yeah, I'm having some trouble thinking of hands that he beats.
I agree.
Well,
And
like
I
a
think
Jack 9 random, you know, like there's not many hands, but can he get a better hand to fold?
I don't think Sosia takes this line as a trap as well, you know?
I agree, because this board run out is more in favor of the squeezer, so she shouldn't be looking to trap with like sets and 2 pairs.
I thought Elton was going to put her all in there. He's grabbed a handful of whites. He's given up.
Yes, he has.
He's given up.
He's going to be upset when he sees the 2 8s.
打得有问题。
His intuition was right, Randy.
啊？
Tan. I don't know what Tan's saying. I don't speak the same language, but I feel like that was the kind of brotherly gesture of, you wimp. You wimp. How did you not find the bet there?
They're always going to
I want
needle
to,
each other
Yeah, of course.
when they lose pots. Scoreboard.
Whoa. The two that have been needling each other are the two that are stuck the most. Tan down 600, Elton down 650. Handz is up the most money so far, Randy. Same story last night. He won that 1.8 million plus pot.
纠正你的字。
对我有意见。
有意见也可以。
哇，出手。
Sizable open from Wayne. Sizing doesn't matter. Tan twins and their ace-9 offsuit with the flat.
We had a fun game yesterday, Randy. It was one of the suggestions from one of the viewers, where you have to type F in the chat the moment the pot reaches the size of your net worth. See a lot of
Sosia.
so this is just
She's reading Wayne's open as weakness, given he's squidless and he's making like 15K, and the big blind's just 4K. And of course, Tan being weak just to flat that pre.
还行还行，总不可能是6个我在想。
多了2万5吧，最多了。
yeah. Tan gets out of there. Nice little pickup from Sosia.
这是我的啊，
万，
这是我没有，
那2个红的什么东西啊？
就是你刚才不是放5000大吗 ？You had 5,000。
我不知道那个是，
Oh, you gave him 1,000。
这是我丢的。
然后就是我。
ST's getting paid.
It's not, yeah. Okay.
Pocket 8s is his hand.
Oh right. Yeah,
But
you're
look,
right.
Elton's put out 4 whites.
That is correct. Yeah, Elton and ST are playing quadruple the stakes, Randy. So he just won 225,000, if I'm not mistaken. 100 from Elton, plus 125 from the other 5 players.
Yep.
Just from being dealt pocket 8s. That's one of the first ones of the night.
应该是说我吧。
And he just folded pre-flop.
点你名字嘛。
He won So much. All right, fruit time for you too, ST.
I mean, he's just scooped how much?
Maybe he's just eating Elton's fruit. Like, thanks for the money, thanks for the fruit.
Thanks for the 100K and thanks for the strawberries. Boss is saying, where can I see how Handz won? Over on our Triton channel, Triton Poker. If you haven't already subscribed, drop us a quick subscribe. Get notified as and when we're going live. Randy Lou, who's in the booth right next to me right now, he's always doing these voiceovers for some of the most insane cash games. Of course, we've got the Triton Super High Roller Series running right now here in Montenegro. We saw Nacho Barbero win $1 million today. We saw Alex Foxen take down his 3rd title yesterday. We've had it all. We've had it all. Sosia's going to keep her hand now. Again.
Are you serious?
She might just call as well.
Fold.
Fold, but hold on to
来一
cards.
个，
They're mad. They know. They just know. She's got cards and
今
she
天换了
folded.
6 6 7 7
That's so funny.
They're just thinking, please don't beat a suited hand. You just save a little bit of money. But
Oh, that's true, yeah.
this hand's not over, though. We have Wang versus Handz incoming.
45.
Here we go. 100K in the middle. 3-bet pot. Wow. Now they're trying to figure out whether it was 6s or 7s that Sosia had.
可以解说了，兄弟。
That's kind of funny because
It's
that
hilarious.
blocks the nutted hands.
Yeah.
Which is better for Wang in theory,
还确认了。
knowing that it's unlikely he's going to slow play by a boat.
We know Handz isn't going anywhere just
还
yet.
能说点英文，是不是还能加分？
Stevie Alt is saying the removal effect from the side game is interesting. It is. It really makes it fun. Jack of spades on the turn. Will we see shutdown?
昨天也是这样想的，然后就两三百。
So Wang is in position.
本身就是那种打上风牌的，没有上风牌那不就输，是多是少的事。
Great run out for Handz. I think his hand is worthy of value betting against ace high. He has busted diamonds in his range. He has 7-8, the gut shot that whiffed, that he can get value against the ace highs that can hero call. It's even possible Wang has like a 6 that can call. This is good, and the sizing is intended to just hope ace high feels like it's a great price.
Handz is so good at these spots.
He's a great player.
Gets paid.
Take it.
Okay.
You also have to pay out more to a different player. There we go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sosia hands herself a little
Yep.
$1.50.
Collect it. She's happy.
Did you take some Elton?
She's won it twice so far today, right? That means she's up like 300K from the bear game.
You know what?
So Wayne with the straddle. Squidless once again is straddling. Great spot for ST, given he doesn't have a squid.
I feel like we need a big pot, Randy. A big pot just to get the juices flowing. You know, we've had some teasers. Had some, like, you know, 2, 3, 400k pots.
I mean, we had the huge one late last night. Perhaps this is the pre-warm-up phase.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Elton's trying to attack, and it's actually pretty interesting that SD opted to limp the button without the squid with such a strong hand. I wonder if he expected Elton to attack. And look at Wayne. He's put in $42,000 with Jack-9 offsuit. Very interesting spot here for ST. He knows Wayne is pretty capped. Gonna take this one in position.
So they're now heads up, right? They must be. If Wayne's flicking in 42k.
He definitely is squidless.
Queen, Queen 3. Elton's just sat here loving life in between two squidless opponents. Not loving life on this board, though.
But a stab will work much more often right now against squidless players. They have such a wide range. They have Jack-9 offsuit. Something that really should not be continuing.
What about Ace-10?
Feels like Ace-10 should peel one in position. Could be the best hand. If he's up against some small pair, he still has plenty of outs.
Here we go. That's a fun turn card.
And see what he gets for ST. He can even get value from Ace-5 at some point. I'm sure Elton's pretty happy about this card too. Going to guess this often gets checked through on the turn, and more incentive to seek value on the river if you fear the potential check raise, which we know these players are certainly capable of.
Chop it up.
What a bailout.
Chop it up.
Holy, wait, does that mean he doesn't get a squid?
Oh no. Are you serious right now?
ST, that's some run bad.
Oh dude, he's gonna be seething. He's gonna be absolutely seething, Randy.
You know it. But you know who's gonna be happy?
No, Elton's gonna laugh right in his face.
Yeah, he is. And Wayne gets to fight on. Yeah, that's gonna get snapped off. Such a small size.
Oh, I don't think Tan has one yet, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tilted.
No need to translate that one. We all know what that meant.
So we believe it's three-way
真厉
squidless?
害
I
啊
think！so.
打得没问题了吧？现在
I do think so.
有一点点。
说他应该 all in。
妈，对呀、
Well, well, well.
好好想想，妈的，直接 all in。
He's straddled that time.
He's laughing it off.
呀
Okay.
不能开枪，我看 A 是埋伏我，A5开个什么枪？
Shake of the head.
打得这么好 ，ST。说你打得好，这是运气差一点。
That was probably the most entertaining way that hand could have played out as well. Oh, okay, dude, there's a few people. Hang on.
Wang doesn't have one either.
Yeah, we're still four-handed. Okay.
Sosia pocket queens, and Wang has got king jack suited in the straddle. This could be trouble. 20K with the ladies for the lady. Ace jack for Elton. That's a nice hand. Quickly in there for 20K. Options now for Wang. Has been relatively pre-flop heavy in terms of 3-betting, but does flat. Potting out 70K, 3 ways. Might not be too much action on this board if Sosia decides to c-bet, but she doesn't, so maybe that opens the door for Elton to potentially stab with the ace of diamonds, but he says, turn card, please. Very connected board texture. Most likely would hit Wang's straddle range.
Where's the rest of the pot, Randy?
Went check, check, check on the flop.
Pre-flop.
Yeah, Wang didn't decide to squeeze.
Well, perhaps that is going to help him find a path to victory. So he just called out the straddle, right?
That's right.
So he can rep this board quite a bit.
He's got plenty of the straights. He's squidless. Queens can't fold 2-1 bet. River card's the key decision.
对子是忘了可以还是不可以？先做好。
可以了，这忘了就忘了嘛。
他说对子忘了就忘了。先说一下，做好。
Does that change anything? I guess for Sosia, a hand like ace-x of diamonds. Like,
It changes things if Wang checks, because that means Sosia could potentially be behind an ace-x. But if Wang bets again, it's very unlikely he just rivered an ace and is going for value on this board right now.
哇！操你妈！
there's a lot of swearing going on today, Randy.
Why are you translating?
I got one of those AI earpieces in. Translate any language.
这我就不客气了，2个美鱼的，那我肯定是要关照一下的。
Thanks, Tan. Kelly Shield saying, interesting for Tan to pick aces and kings for side game, going for super mega payout if tilt that and wins the pot, and payout for no action or insurance for bad beat. I agree, Kelly. I think it's my favorite. At first, I didn't like it. I was like, why do you do that? But it does make a lot of sense.
I mean, you just have to pick whatever you think is the lucky hand. That's the real strategy.
Suited king hitting the muck from the small blind.
Yeah, there's a lot less flatting when players straddle it. Just much more costly. If you think about it, like 20K is 1/3 of the
我每
penalty.
一把 race 你都会考的，
哇！
要么考要么3P。后
那我把都出，基本上差不多都出的牌。
You just gave him 5K. It must be some other random
No,
side
no.
bets.
He flicked in a 25K chip, that's why.
Got it, got it.
He's giving him his change.
I was going to say, that seems like a small prop that they would play.
不是现在才知道。
Well, ST is on pace to lose his hand, but he's going to win some money after this hand is over, regardless.
King of spades on the turn changes nothing. It is another overcard to ST's pocket eights. It's probably loving life on the disconnected queen six deuce.
再想办法。
Should want to try to show down 2 8s, not need to turn it into a bluff.
Elton playing defensively. Checks behind.
I think block smaller checks pretty good for ST's hand on this board run out. Either target the 6 or check the side based on sizing. Be pretty surprised if Elton didn't think he has the best hand and should need to value bet this. Yeah. This action, Queen Jack is certainly good.
15
Do you think he gets paid off here, Randy?
No, I don't. You'd have to give Elton credit for a lot of floats, which of course he's capable of.
What about a hand like ace 4, ace 5 that's kind of got here with a gut shot?
From what I've seen, it looks like he is going to pay it off.
I think it's a payoff spot. I think it's a payoff spot.
Yeah, he thinks there's like Jack 10 floats and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think there's like some 7, 8 of hearts floats as well. Like the queen 6 deuce. Ace 4, ace 5 of diamonds. There's some stuff out there.
Well, he's thinking, if I pay this off, I'm getting a rebate anyways.
Oh, because pocket 8s is one of his hands?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And he gets a
He gets a
super
100,
against
yeah.
Elton. Elton's going to lose money in this pot? Or is he going to break even?
He's going to break even, yeah, because minus is 60k, it's 98k. Plus ST's 60.
ST wants to call so bad.
Oh, I know what is. So he's just slow rolling everyone
He
now.
could be.
That's what this is.
He could be. But I think it's a real decision right now.
It is a real decision, but the theatrics on top of it all. Wow. He folds. Elton. Elton has to pay him 100k.
Elton's on tilt.
Oh my word.
Look, 4 whites from Elton. That's 100k.
Just wins 225k. Just like that. Look at that. 225k.
That was a fun one
That
because he
was.
actually was in the tank. And he's like, oh, I fold.
No, it was a slow roll. The whole thing was a slow roll.
That was a merge. Do STs hit 2 pocket pairs, right? Because I believe Elton's paid out the 100k twice to him.
That's right. You are spot on. That one, of course, feels extra good because he kind of avoids paying off the 60k. He then gets the 225k payout, and he tilts Elton because he knows that Elton had the best hand.
Yeah.
So it just tilts Elton even more. It's brilliant. I love this game. This is a bit sick, by the way. Like, whoever came up with this, you have to be a bit, you know, far gone in the head.
Yeah.
一杯是转炸糊了。
Last time they played the pair game, they were just playing it amongst themselves at the Cash Game Invitational. But here they spread it to the whole table. You want to play this game? You got to play this pair game with us. Otherwise, you're not playing.
Yeah. Which makes sense because you don't want to just give EV to players that aren't getting involved. Like, there have been some times in my game, right, where someone's like a bit tired, or one of the VIPs says, "Oh, I don't really want to play." It's just like, "Oh, sorry, mate. Like, you kind of don't have a choice. You can't sit out of the stand-up game. See you later, mate. We'll call you a bolt.
Exactly.
We'll get you a tuk-tuk to come and drop you off. We'll come and take you home."
目的达到了。对啊。
我这个人一聊就上头。
对啊。这上头聊你干嘛？
Today, Wayne has got nothing going his way. Finally, he gets a hand where he's likely to get a squid. And if Wang 3-bets ace-3 suited, this is going to be great for Wayne.
Could happen. Could happen, both of them without the squid.
I think it's very likely he 3-bets, but he does just flat. This is a nice adjustment for Wang. He was relentless with these type of hands before.
东西了，可以是童话。
The 9 to 5, that's in. 20k piece. It's not even a straddled pot. And it's 20k pre-flop open. 5x pre.
That's a spicy turn card. Wayne able to absorb aggression should he face some.
Wayne's likely to just value bet this one himself. I wonder if Sosia ever comes in with check raise. Try to rep the 6. She's got the most 6s in her range compared to the other players. She's got a club draw in case she does get called. It's actually Wang coming along with just ace high.
That would make the check raise from Sosia even more credible, by the way.
Yeah, I would like it a lot more if she was to attack in this spot. She's just gonna chase the draw. Pier. Kind of interesting given she's already got a squid.
How about the old king run out?
It's clean. Kind of feels like Wayne's biggest target here is the spades. Feels like one of the other players would have played 6x as a raise at some point. But his range has a lot of King X if he was to bet once more, so he shouldn't go too big. Yeah, this is a great sizing.
Oh, that's a good fold from Wang. Yeah, he wasted no time.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah,
Dealer almost got the cards.
He was fake slow rolling.
Mark 是 sell 中间才是 mark 吗？不是吗？
Someone trying to get him in for a muck. No muck.
Wow, Tan and Elton are down even more since the last scoreboard.
Yeah, and yet they have more chips in their stack. They keep topping up.
Limited rolls.
How things stand.
How about ST?
Yeah, ST's making a bit of a clawback from last night. I think he finished down around 2.3. I might even, don't quote me on this, it might have even been 2.5 million on the night. At least while we were streaming.
ST's collected $450,000 from the
That's
pair
right.
game.
That's right.
And that's across 2 pairs.
Yeah. Alex saying, see nobody tipping the dealer. Are they that tight, or is it not allowed? Mate, trust me. Trust me when I say the dealers are very well looked after. As are all of the staff by the players here. Don't you worry.
Slightly unorthodox 3-bet with the 6s, mainly because he's squidless. Maybe cold 4 from ST. Could be coming. Normal circumstances, this would be an auto muck, but here, definitely a decent spot to consider 4-betting a player who's very desperate.
It's just such a beautiful looking hand. Like I kind of hate it.
What do you mean?
In the sense that I just want to see a flop with King Jack of Diamonds. But it does have
As
great
a
removal.
viewer or as the player? What do you mean? You think it's good enough to just cold call, you mean?
Well, from an entertainment point of view, I just want to see a flop, obviously.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, with Squid, plays very well as a 4-bet, especially when there's when there's the action in front of him that he had. That's really nice card removal.
牌拿过来，牌我拿过来，我也 all in 了，他妈的，知道你这牌，我的比你大，我操！
Things haven't been going well for Wang as of late. He's trying to get that squid, but he's just bleeding over and over again. Let's put a band-aid on soon.
你们赌跟我赌到现在，我8把，我猛8把去，还要怎么赌啊？赌个手啊
So！ that side of the table is good in terms of squid. It's
就我们2个啊。
Wang versus Tan Xuan, right?
Again. Okay.
Tan's actually in a huge advantage right now, given those are the 2 remaining, because he has position on the squid list. So if Wang goes away, then like he doesn't have to come along as well against other players.
So far, Wayne's lost 1
Payout?
Squid Game. Yeah.
Sosia lost the very first one.
Okay, right. So Sosia and Wayne. Okay. Guaranteed to have a new payout. A new person paying out. So Tan just forced in to call here. And both Ye Wang and Tan Xuan are just desperately trying to flop a piece.
Yeah. Basically, because Wang V-pipped the hand, Tan has to V-pip 10-5 offsuit now. Gonna be tough for the squidless to win this pot, right? King 6-4-2 clubs. They've got nothing. He hasn't folded yet, Henry.
差没有？
Does he have 9 high?
He does have 9 high. It's a high card, low card, low card. Yeah. It's like if I can just fold out ace highs, And he knows how wide Tan is, obviously. And that Tan's in a tough spot. Yeah, and he can just fold him out.
Show it.
但没办法，哎，
This time he gets to show it.
咱俩换牌，我3把牌牌打把赢，换完以后马上输100多。
10, you gotta put out 60K.
最后我也换牌啊，等我想起来的时候就
There you
打
go.
完3个小时了。
打完了，打完了，打完了。
那我的庄位
It
没
is
有了。
finished,
没
yeah.
有了，抽位置了吗？
没有2条鱼。
2条嘛，第2条了
Yeah,。the squid round is finished.
不是，是不是？
抽了位
I
置，直接
believe
第一条
a redraw?
1号位就是庄。
Yeah,
对。
you are right. Sorry, I was just enjoying that
开始嘛，对吧？
直接开始了。
exchange.
不
Yeah,
再抽
so
位置了
from a fairness point of view, Randy, the reason that the redraw is done, if you could explain from a cash game background, it's just a case, you know, you're getting picked on by the guy on your left, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and basically you have an advantage, you know, on players that you have position on.
Right.
So we want to scramble it up. Sometimes, you know, you have a really tough player behind you who's very aggressive, players like Xuan. So we're going to mix it up, make it fair. It's purely random. Maybe you get the same seat draw. Who knows?
I guess the biggest thing in this kind of game, where there are these different, you know, bounty formats, to me is if someone's steaming, you know, on the back end of losing props or losing the squid multiple times, then you're going to be at an advantage, right? Like if I'm on your left and you're tilted because you've lost like 3 squids in a row, I can just pick on you, blind versus blind. So I get it. We're going to take a, what is it, quick 10 minutes or so just to let the players take a quick break. Going to take a redraw. Randy, it's been an absolute pleasure, man, calling the action review on this stuff. Who's been your favorite tonight? I mean, what's the highlight been for you, just quickly off the top of your head?
For me, I don't know. I guess Elton. I just always loved Elton. He's always laughing at people when they lose.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to be seeing you tomorrow, obviously. You're going to be in the booth from 2 p.m. tomorrow for that 40K mystery bounty. Kevin's going to be coming in now with me. We've got more of this, so don't go too far. Go grab a cup of tea. We'll be back in 10 minutes for continuing coverage of this 2K, 4K, 4K game. Oh, just hearing Elton say under 200K, you have to top up for Squid Game.
That makes sense because there's a huge advantage to the short stack in Squid Game because you can just open jam a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, that does make sense.
If you don't like the rules, get out of the game.
That's one way to put it. It's like, oh, the game's too loose with too many action-inducing side games for you? Okay, well, you can go over there if you want.
So Wang, yeah, he check called led this turn card. Must believe that Sosia would just check back a lot on a board that kind of hits the small blind a bit more with like high cards, trying to deny equity right now. But, you know, 15K for 2 sevens for a gut shot. Wow. Goes for a raise. That was a bit unexpected. She must feel that the lead is very weak, and she blocks the nutted hands.
刺激我，你靠不靠？一定不靠对吧？我也挺，
没差一点，
如果多一点点，
对，
但没办法，我觉得这点怎么办？差一点，我知道差一点，我知道他有二，
打的就是二嘛，
打的。差一点点，
我觉得差个多个15万嘛，差不多。
75万3倍，正好3倍。
Dude, Wang is sick. He's cutting out re-raising
其实我
chips.
已经很少透气了，这个。桌上换一个人大概率破了，也不是肯定的。
What year are we in, Randy?
2025, where GTO is no longer a thing.
This is giving me flashbacks to cash games from 2000
老
and
板，谢老板。
2001.
Well,
Wow.
she folded, but do you know what just happened?
She just collected 150K, yeah.
because pocket sevens is her hand of choice for pairs.
2万5玩呀，快点快点，放个2万5。
Pay me, pay me, pay me. So she raised, folded, yet won more money in the hand due to the pair.
这把鱿鱼开始了，对吧？这把鱿鱼开始了。
But hats off to Wang to make that
I was
lead
about to
bet
say-
3-bet. That was sick.
Wang is happy to flicker 25k. He's like, here, take it. Especially when he gets shown the.
这不是我的手。
And to do it with the hand he did on that board,
那
man,
肯定
that's
不对，
sick.
你这样要桌上所有人同意才行，要不然谁接？对啊，你现在别人都多赌
哦，
了一份。
对对对，明白明白，不是跟大家，
对
就是
对
就是
的
说，
这个中了你这么高，谁敢买？谁敢吃啊？
相当于拖一个黑子弟拖一份底吧。
对对。
Can I spread?
Yes, you can.
So it starts now. There we go. You see the squid is in the middle.
Can I also straddle? Oh,
Okay.
Then I fall.
Just a casual 8k straddle.
And have one. Don't forget that.
Ace of hearts. She's thinking about making a play. 'Cause she knows
Oh,
the
no.
squidless must fight the other squidless.
That's crazy. That's just absurd.
Yep. Still got trips.
俾支水啊，唔該。
Yeah, Sosia was basically just hoping the ST was stabbing. Was just going to let it go.
And she can credibly rep a 10.
Yep. I agree.
哦，那个茶，
Is he clicking it?
跟沙发哥一样的那个茶。
Because he's taking back all his chips. He went with call.
Well, perhaps no heart on the turn has actually helped Sosia to just shut this one down.
Yeah, it feels like she has to just let this one go. There's still multiple players about squids. She doesn't need to force this anymore. I mean, there's just a good chance ST has a 10 to bet call into 6 players. But she doesn't think ST's got the 10.
我就觉得，应该是你说。
Man, just running good like a few hands in a row during the Squid Game can literally make or break your session.
Yes, of course.
You just get one person that doesn't have a squid going bombastic on like a random board where you just have it. Dude. I mean, what's
This
going on?
feels a little forced right now by Sosia. She's gotten called again. She's gotta think ST's got the goods. That's actually kind of bad. Because now she's picked up showdown value.
Yeah, and just in case she was up against like, I don't know, like Queen 9 of Hearts, Jack 9 of Hearts that was like calling, you know?
I think ST could have just naked hearts, yeah. Just because he's squidless, he's gonna peel more. So if ST size is small enough, he might get paid on the river. For now though, it's does Sosia want to block? Not a big fan of blocking, to be honest.
She does block 10%. Why don't you like blocking? Because I feel like if you did have a 10 with this run out, you would want to block, no?
A 10? Yeah, but you depends on how you block, I suppose. I mean, what are you afraid of clubs? You're saying? There's not that many clubs in ST's range, right?
Clubs back here. I think there's a decent amount. Some that, you know,
Like what?
Stab flop that.
Calls check raise?
Yeah,
Six
backdoor
ways?
clubs. No, it wasn't 6 ways though, was it?
On the flop.
No, it wasn't 6 ways on the flop. When he gets check raised, they're heads up. So he could easily just like stab with Jack 9 of clubs. Right? Something with some interactiveness around the 10.
Yeah, I guess it's possible. It just seems a bit ambitious.
I don't think these guys have got to where they are in life, Randy, without a bit of ambition, you know?
I hear you.
We're playing 2K, 4K, 8K. I think all of these guys are probably ridiculously ambitious. Just going to call.
Yeah, it sounded like he feels like he was up against a king, potentially. And there wouldn't be much hands at that call. But SC does get rewarded there with the squid. That was a bit costly for Sosia.
Self-inflicted.
A bit.
Similar to the 7s as well. That felt unnecessary. Well, very warm welcome back to this bonus coverage of a little 2K, 4K, 4K with some side game shenanigans. We've had the Squid Game up and running with a 10K bounty on all of the players. Had the pair game from last night, Kevin, where some people have 25K for a pair. Others have a little 4 times that action on the side. There's been some, I don't really know how to explain it. There's just been a lot of money flying around, you know?
Yeah, that's not surprising to me based on what we saw last night, and I'm glad to hear that Squid is just on from the start because that's really what picked up the action, at least yesterday when Elton brought that wrinkle into the game.
Yeah, it certainly changed it last night. It came right, you know, at that time where the game seemed to be dying down a bit and Elton is just dialed into those things and he just knew, okay, well, let's bring the Squid Game to get this game back to life. Today it's added some unique insights to the way people approach this game, the different strategies at different stack depths. I feel like because it's been here from the beginning today, we're seeing a little bit more of a GTO approach to it, whereas yesterday the players were a bit more tired, you know, it was a bit panicked, a bit rushed, whereas today there's a lot of thought and method going into this.
Yeah, I mean, something I remember noticing last night, you had some interesting double straddle situations.
Yes.
This comes up. Has this already been in play today?
Single straddles to 8K, yes.
Yeah, I mean, just players who you have to keep track, of course, of who's remaining and who's not, but like players who don't have that squid yet, they're just thinking like, well, I want to play this pot by any means necessary, right? Let's straddle, let's double straddle. This might even just be winning because it's going to let me see the flop more often.
I'm looking forward to our first 7-figure pot of the day. We haven't had one so far, but I got a funny feeling after the redraw and maybe a cup of coffee or two, we look to throw it down to the stage once more, that perhaps a little caffeine injection, you know, right into the veins, little get the blood pumping. We'll see some juicy pots as players have moved around. Oh, I'm loving this. Is that Elton with direct position on tan, I believe. Both with 7-figure stacks. 5 7-figure stacks at the table. 2K, 4K. Handz, the man to beat once again. Finished up, what, 1.4 million last night, I believe. Biggest winner of the night so far. He's up 703,000 here.
Glad to see SD Wang, by the way, recovering a bit from that disastrous session yesterday. Up almost 700,000 himself.
Are you sure there's caffeine in this Red Bull?
I'll just let chat handle that one, Henry.
Thanks.
I don't think any follow-up questions are necessary.
Appreciate it.
if they started making a caffeine-free Red Bull and like anyone on the planet bought it, I would love to just sit down with them for dinner and ask a few questions about their life.
And what led them to that moment in time.
Yeah.
Fair, I can see it. I'm looking just for the, you know, the placebo effect. That's what I need. I don't actually need caffeine. I need some like caffeine placebo.
You just want to drink branded like 20-hour energy in all caps, and it's just a little shot of cranberry juice.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this float from Wang, by the way. Recognizing that King High is going to be good.
Yeah, these are, as you're seeing, very loose pre-flop ranges. First hand of a new round of Squid, I imagine, as we come back from the redraw break.
Yeah, it's been continuous. It's beautiful.
Look at Handz. Just air. Bringing the second barrel. Expecting light floats on the flop. Knows that more than one street is going to be necessary to clear out hands like King High here.
Wow.
Wow.
What a find.
Indeed.
This is some next level poker being played here.
I like this call. Still the best hand on the river. We've seen hands pull off some heroics, but I don't know that we've seen a bluff as big as this would be if he were to fire 3.
Unblocking diamonds is nice.
It is.
From the small blind.
A lot of king and queen high diamonds could arrive here. Even just 7-6. Shut it down. Nice hand, Wang.
Wow.
Well played. Well played, Wang.
办法，最大一手牌了，怎么丢吧？实在没牌。
I think I can translate that one.
阿威跟Sosia不跟他玩嘛？
Meaty Pablo saying, what kind of dinner does a caffeine-free Red Bull drinker have? It's a great question. It's questions like that really get you far in life.
Presumably like
I had a, what did we have? We had a T-bone steak with octopus, grilled vegetables. What was that?
okay, but that's a real.
Squid ink, risotto, whatever it was that we had.
Okay, guys, Henry's just, he's bragging right now
No, I was asked
about the food here in beautiful Montenegro. I thought theoretically, perhaps, the chat was suggesting maybe like if you're seeking a paradoxical choice like caffeine-free Red Bull, we could come up with some other paradoxical choices for dinner, right? Dairy-free mac and cheese. Dairy-free, gluten-free mac and cheese. How about that for a dinner combo with caffeine-free Red Bull? That's where my mind went. I don't know.
I
if
can't
that's
believe
what
I'm getting
chat was-
roasted for this. Guys, it's midnight, okay? I need a little pick-me-up, but I don't want to be up until like 9 o'clock in the morning. So all I was saying is a little caffeine-free, sugar-free Red Bull that just gives that placebo effect that I'm actually drinking coffee without having to be awake until 9 a.m. Grow up. All of you.
Fair play, the man's made his choice.
What's going on here?
We got some action.
Elton's come with a 3-bet. I knew this was going to happen. There's just something about the seat shuffle up. These two sat next to each other. They're both down around 700K. Here we go. 216 in the middle. Squid Game is on.
看我干嘛？老是看我下。
Queen 10-3.
目的就达到了吧。
Fun flop, Kevin. Top pair for Tan. Middle pair for Elton.
Would love to know what he was saying as that flop came down. Elton took notice. Reasonable check. Trip queens.
This is a disastrous turn card for Elton.
It is. His hand looks so much stronger on this card. But from Tan's point of view, Elton's so unlikely to have a real hand here. Aces and kings don't check the flop. Likely capped at 2 jacks.
I want to see Tan go big here. It sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? It's like, well, why would you go big and fold out some of the ace-high type holdings? But I just think, given the dynamic between these two, we saw Tan call off like a 80k river bet with ace-high earlier on against Elton.
This does seem like history is really informing the way these two operate against each other. You can see even the intensity and observation these two are willing to engage in.
Yeah, it's changed. It's really changed. The break came at the right time. Just allowed people to stretch their legs, shuffle around. New positions at the table.
Nine of diamonds, traditionally completing a lot of Tan's bluffs. Ace-jack still missed, heart still missed. He has some options, such that if he bets a sizable amount with his trip queens, he can still get paid.
Six in the middle. This is already the biggest pot of the night so far.
Well, if Elton thought that Tan might have some thin value bet on the turn, I don't think he believes that to be the case anymore. 2/3 pot on the 9 river. This looks like trips are better.
He gets paid, just as we predicted. These two sat together was always going to lead to fireworks. $856,000 pot going Tan's way. I think it's safe to say the wheels are officially off. Oh yeah. There we go. So Tan after that, clawing some back. It's only down 375,000 now. Elton, biggest loser of the night. He's down 1.25 million. Would not surprise me to see him top up and cover Tan, especially given that he's on his direct left.
That's what I was thinking too, Henry, is because of Tan starting off this session down and now winning back almost 2 million on the table. 1.4 effective with Wang Yi.
Yeah.
If Elton tops up, makings of a 3 million plus pot against one of the most active players at this series.
Yeah, I don't think it will take long until he adds more chips. A few people asking if this is a fresh stack or continuation from last night. That is a great question. These are fresh stacks. I believe they played until like 7, 8, 9 a.m. Who knows? And then they went and had 4 hours sleep. Came back, had a caffeine-free, sugar-free Red Bull to get their day started. And here we are. Got the 400k fresh stacks. Also heard Elton say that when the Squid Game is on, if you drop down below 200k, you have to top up with the Squid Game on. So none of this short stacking from last night. I mean, we didn't see much of it, but you know.
It does also kind of make sense if they're not prepaying bounties to effectively secure the ability to pay your bounties.
Agreed.
With how much money you have on the table. Can get into some weird spots if, you know, you get stacked in the middle of a round, or if you've got a bounty that pays off 300. What do we have here?
I don't know, you tell me.
A few limps. Not surprising in this format. Wang makes it 40k in the cutoff. 130 on the button from Tan. He's got a squid.
He's got a squid.
And so does Wang Yi. And these two are playing what I imagine is about to be 300,000 to the flop with a couple of suited gappers.
Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. We're about to enter some patches of turbulence, and well, watch out for anything falling from the overhead lockers. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. 294 in the middle to the King Queen 7. Perhaps not so much turbulence on this board. They're both players with a piece. Wang's been trying to dig his heels in some spots against Tan, and Tan has just been getting the better of him on almost every occasion.
Yeah, well, has the best of it here by far. But no guarantee that Tan is going to play this pair of sevens for its showdown ability.
Exactly.
This is a blocker in a big pot. It's an aggressive opportunity, I think.
There was a similar spot earlier on where Wang, again, out of position, 3-bet pot, tried keeping Tan honest for one street with middle pair in the hopes that Tan would then shut down, and Tan was just like, hey, listen, bro.
Well, no need to shut down. Tan's made 3 sevens. Flush completer, so perhaps a smooth escape for Wang Yi in the face of more aggression here.
$500,000 in the middle. SBR of 2.4. Let's see if Tan wants to set this up for stacks by the river. Our man is back. Was stuck 700k at one point. $280k. Setting up that river jam nicely. Surely Wang folds here. Similar spot to earlier on.
And sometimes you're facing a certain bet from a certain type of player that just represents immense strength. Like, you know, this isn't King Jack. Maybe even Ace King or aces without a heart. These are hands that don't want to set up a $2 million pot. So Wang Yi just thinking, how do you have such a strong hand? Especially knowing that you're the type of player to just have 7-4 suited pre-flop.
Wow.
Why not have 6-4 spades or 5-4 spades or any number of total bluffs that's trying to scare me off of this middle pair? You talked about him digging his heels in. Oh, no.
Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me right now?
This is insane.
3-bet pot, king, queen, 7, check, bet, call, tan with the suck out on the turn to turn trips. Bets, what was it, 280 into 500 or whatever it was? Just absurd. Oh.
He's made the right check. How can Tan not go for value?
I mean, Ye Wong's just somehow spiked the 2 outer with 7 figures in the middle. First 7-figure pot of the night. This has to be one of the sickest cash game pots we've had on this stream. And how does Tan size here, Kevin? I mean,
I think he's going to jam.
we're targeting flushes.
You just don't expect Wang Yi to have a queen. It's so hard for him to have a queen. He's supposed to have folded the turn.
Well, he's not asked for all of it. Fortunately for Tan. I say fortunately, I mean, more fortunately would have been had the 2 outer not arrived on the river. You know. But now that we're here, perhaps saving himself 436,000. Kevin, we did ask for a 7-figure pot. Check jam is inevitable. I mean, is it at this point? I don't know. We have, like, what, the 4th nuts? Lose the quads, kings, king, queen. It does jam.
He knows it. He just knows it's not the best hand.
I mean, of course, at this point you've got the 5th nuts, right? Wang can have kings and queens here, I think. Can obviously have king queen suited.
Probably king queen offsuit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ace of hearts queen.
The way this hand has been, I'm sorry, this table has been playing with the Squid Games. It's so painful though, right? Like you're getting, what, 6-1 on a call, thereabouts. But the reality is how often do you ever see an ROI on that 6-1 line you're being laid? It just doesn't feel like Wong's ever finding a bluff.
It'll probably cross his mind that he might chop with Ace 7 suited or 7-8 suited or something.
No. Never. You think Wang's just in there, like, jamming a 7 on this river?
Yeah.
Fair.
Not guaranteed, but it's going to cross Tan's mind. Sizing looks kind of like a flush on the end.
By the way, if Tan does click call, this would be the largest ever televised pot in poker history. Just letting you know, Kevin. Big kind of moment right now.
啊？我4条7，我操！
Imagine just being able to laugh it off, by the way.
借皮。他只有2手牌吧，这个牌。应该是别要不动。
I do stand corrected, by the way. Producers told me it would be, but they were taking into account the fact that Tan has 860 back, and they thought that that 860 would go into the middle. It wouldn't.
Wow.
Does let it go. Monster pot going Wang Ye's way after a very fortunate run out.
电视看得到了吗？你要问我一手啊。
As the squid doesn't need to show.
女王告诉你。
真他妈烫啊！真的妈。
We talk about the crazy pre-flop action.
啊？
你 flop 有没有比我大？
我操，你 K 皮啊！我操。
Talk about the huge bluffs.
我不知道你什么牌吧？有可能有7嘛。
Give Tan credit there for
有可能。
a really disciplined fold in a giant spot.
这牌投资有点难哦。
Not easy to do.
这个注码不好投。
嗯？
说你。
到我。
啊，说。
说嘛？嗯？
肯定比你大嘛。
I can't believe what we just witnessed there.
不是，我说的。
$2.4 million pot. I didn't think we'd be able to top last night's 1.8.
12还是13呢？不光是一个船的。
一个。
啊？一个船。
所以我才问你 flop。
Rude saying if he folds a 7, does that mean the shove was bad? I hear what you're saying, man.
Fair point.
Yeah, I do hear what you're saying. I mean, I personally thought he was just going to come with cool. Like, lose the kings, king, queen, quad 7s. Don't think he's ever getting called by worse. Case in point, not getting called by a 7, and don't think he's ever getting a queen to fold.
I think if the read is this bet size on the river means my queen is just good. I've just got 100% equity. Put it in Tan's court to figure out if he wants to call or not. Then you know that's what needs to be done. Could still be a good play.
Talking of good plays.
Man, this Squid Game is bringing out quite the pre-flop action. Queen's going to show it. Nice little 90k pickup, as well as that all-important squid. And saying, I wonder the stakes they play when the cameras aren't on. 2k, 4k, 8k, not enough.
就100多万，100多个大毛而已。你看起来不是码多，又不深嘛，一个3B 炮，所谓的。
这一个全退了。
嗯？
对，
肯定不退，
肯定不退，没有问题。
Well, we did ask for 7-figure pots.
没有人会跟比你小的牌。
These guys have delivered.
你这里基本没有东西。
Well, Este's limped from under the gun. Squidless. Tan with the big raise and the hijack. Good spot for Este to try and pick one up here.
Looking very likely on the 10-5 deuce. Kelly saying, will we ever see an 8-figure pot? We're probably not too far away. I think if Bitcoin hits like 250k, 250, 300k, we'll start seeing some insane like 5k, 10k, 20k games. You could also just convert it into Zimbabwean dollars. That would be like 10-figure pots, no? Do you know the current exchange rate, Kevin? I know you're on top of that kind of stuff.
Isn't that what was happening in those tournaments in South Korea? Everyone bragging on their Instagram about their 9-figure score.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right.
So they won a billion won or whatever for like 30k US. SD Rivers top 2. Clear value bet. Gonna be hard for Tan to fold. Nut no pair. When SD's just limp called pre-flop and he's fighting for that squid. Able to get to this spot a lot lighter than normal with that dynamic.
Tan's just been put through the blender.
Oh.
Just been put through the blender.
It's another strong fold.
It does feel somewhat self-inflicted. The Queen 10, 7-4 hand.
So nice for Wang, by the way, to not have to show that he called the Queen 10 of clubs on the turn.
You know, Kevin.
Valuable info that he may not want anyone to find out about, you know, other than you, me, 5,000 people on YouTube.
Is that it? 5,000 people?
5,053. 51. I lost 2 with that last comment.
5,000 people over on YouTube. Massive shout out to all of you. Let us know whereabouts you're watching from. This is our second day of bonus coverage for this 2K, 4K, 4K game. Last night we saw that man on his screens, Handz, win a $1.8 million pot. Finished up 1.4 million on the night. Appreciate you keeping both myself and Kevin Rabichow company for this one. K Rabichow on socials. Kevin, you're out there in the content streets from time to time,
对，就这个
posting
牌
some of
就
your
说
thoughts on
先发起再发
a lot of things, range of poker
Sure.
topics.
I thought we were getting into
Well,
you know,
listen,
culinary things.
I was about to say, the only reason I follow you, as much as I admire your poker knowledge and brain, is for the the cooking skills. What is going on?
Wow. Sosia Jang is going after one of the other squidless players, Handz. Raising the cutoff, 3-bet on the button, and we're just all in for 150 big blinds.
啊，对啊，收太了7了。
Massive jam with 2 threes. Handz hasn't folded yet.
打不过花打什么东西？7已经是最需要打的牌。
He's got ace-10 offsuit.
我不觉得7是一定要打的，但是7是可以打的。
And is unconvinced.
There's no way he's putting 600k in the middle here, right?
肯定是7嘛。
I don't think he's posturing.
No, he doesn't strike me as the type, but also I don't think I've seen Sosia ever do something like this before. What if it's just like an ace-king that is scared to play like a 4-bet pot out position kind of situation?
Yeah, that's what makes this tank so ambitious to me, is that ace-king offsuit or ace-queen offsuit. I think it feels so likely.
就你这个打不打就跟我这个有点接近。
Yeah, he's out.
Does let it go, gave it a bit of thought. We got Switzerland, Hong Kong, Serbia, just a couple 100 kilometers from Montenegro. Big fan of Serbia. Shout out the Serbs, by the way. I mean, great group of people. To around Wuhan's in the chat. Shout out to people in
这
Wuhan.
里肯定没有，
Deutschland, Seattle.
对吧？
Someone watching from Mars. Love that. How's the internet connection up there? You've got Starlink, or whatever it's called.
对呀，我是我。
Mero saying Crab is a fantastic coach.
这点我同意。
Agreed. Go give Kevin a follow, guys. He's
没问题，你考量一下，你告诉我你什么东西。
doing pretty cool stuff in poker if you want to improve your game.
转头机的吧。
Got Florida in the chat. Greedy Grant saying, I love you, Henry. Greedy Grant, I love you too. Stan saying, I'm watching on the app, the Triton Poker Plus app. Came over to YouTube to say hi from New Hampshire, USA. Shout out New Hampshire, USA. Hope you're all doing well. Love the engagement in the chat. Any questions? Obviously, we do try our best. We do try our best to answer, reasonable questions. If you're looking for the meaning of life, perhaps Kevin and I aren't the people to be answering that kind of stuff. At least not at 1 o'clock in the morning.
We'll try. We're fairly likely to have an opinion. Handz, by the way, has an opinion of 8-deuce offsuit that's worth $10,000 pre-flop.
简单，不是这100个毛。
Well, it's getting to that stage now, right? Who is it? It's Elton. Elton doesn't have one. Handz doesn't have one. And I believe that's it.
Are they heads up?
I believe so.
If that's the case, then yeah. Anytime Elton enters the pot, Handz has got to think it's necessary to fight for this one. And how great is it for Sosia to be squeezed in the middle of that, having flopped a set of 4s.
Fun turn card. Undercard to Elton 7s. Picks up a gut shot. Just going to set the price.
And this perhaps the time to raise. Relatively cheap bet. Unlikely to be the nuts. Continuing to just call. Elton's got 6 outs.
Doesn't get there. And now has to be somewhat fearful. He's beat. Does slow down. Bumps the brakes.
You know what I'm starting to dream about here, Henry?
I know exactly what you're starting to dream about here, Kevin. You want to see Sosia bet like 2/3 pot and Elton to slide forward a tower of white chips.
That's exactly what I had in mind.
That's not going to happen now, right? Not with those facial expressions and that reaction.
You would think. I mean, it's a pretty boss move to break your concealment entirely and then go all in as a bluff.
I've seen it a couple of times. I've seen it. It is pretty sick.
It's not beyond players of this caliber.
That's very true.
To throw some curveballs. Oh, is that his pair? He's mucked it face up.
Oh, pay up. Pay
That's
up,
what
people.
Gets his bounty.
Yeah, you're right. It is Elton's pair. So he's going to win 25k from everyone. Plus 100k from SD, so 225k total.
打的有问题啊！怎么不打个六？
Chat, I do have a request. A rare request. It's 5.2k of you watching right now. We got $6 million on the table. We just had a $2 million pot. If you're enjoying the show, take a couple of seconds to just click that like button. Help us reach 1,000 likes by the end of today's stream. Really just help boost the viewership, push this stream to a wider audience. Triton Poker series, by the way, just continuing year-round to put out the highest stakes with your favorite players free of charge. Tomorrow we're bringing you the 40k mystery bounty. It's going to be more than 600,000 for first. Got the likes of Jason Kuhn still in that one. Mario Mosbauk, Punat Punsri, Mikita Badziakowski. There's some huge names in that. We'll be live from 2 p.m. Nick Petrangelo is currently chip leader.
Three limps here. Elton and Handz both involved, as you'd expect. Elton's flopped best for now.
Checks through.
What a turn for Jang.
This is going to be so difficult for Handz because although he has position on Elton, where he gets to see Elton act first. Oh, okay, this changes things. Now that Elton's doing the betting himself, it does change things, but still, king high can't stick around.
Well, when Handz sees that Jang gets involved, the pressure on him to beat Elton in this pot is significantly reduced, especially if she's coming with raise.
I'm liking this.
你怎么不停地咬牌啊？
I like that. Well played, Yang.
Nice find.
Oh, it's her suited hand as well. Are you kidding me, bro?
Oh, no way.
Wow. So she wins the pot and then wins an additional 50k from everyone else. Just 300k. What a life.
这么厉害，
太厉害了！
太厉害了，打不过啊，好不容易赢一把要没了，你说我吧，好不容易赢一把没了，
不3B 就好了嘛。
好不容易赢我一
那
把要
我转牌是
过给他，
想破。
啊，哎呀，不容易啊。
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sosia up 728k now, courtesy of that 7-6 of spades. Just picking up a 50k bounty from everyone. $300,000 real money. Xuan down 1.5 million. He was so close to getting unstuck, then got involved in a $2.4 million pot. Just insane. Absolute scenes.
Sosia.
Sosia's in there again. 5-4 suited under the gun. Hands will limp. Another any 2 spot for him. Still heads up with Elton for that last remaining squid. One of these 2 players is going to pay out 60,000 to the table. Checks around and Elton. 3 of a kind.
It's Tan with the no equity 9 high barrel.
As you scan through the 5 hands, you'll see 0% written next to Tan's name.
This might keep Sosia in, by the way.
He actually surprised Elton decides to just call because it even would give Handz a chance to continue with some draw. If Elton had charged by raising, I mean, Handz has a deuce. We're not worried about this hand, but wow, he's sticking around. That slim chance.
He is live.
A straight.
Yeah, he is live.
No 7s out there. They wouldn't give anyone a full house.
GG's. Elton's going to collect the squid. And somehow it's Tan that's continuing to barrel.
This is awesome. We're 4 ways on the river. We were 5 players to the turn. Just one of those spots where it's like, well, nobody bluffs like this. Everyone gives this credit, right? I mean, they do, but Elton's got a full house. Just flatting, by the way, trying to get additional action behind. This is kind of a clever way to play the multi-way full house. When it's kind of like, well, if I raise, what's Tan really going to call me with?
Yeah.
Why not call and convince Handz to call something bad behind, or convince Sosia to call something bad behind?
Chop it up, boys. They both showed a 9.
你不能说的。
That's
不是说
hilarious.
叫他们不要说了吗？啊？那以后荷官说怎么说啊？
I love that he started grabbing
对
the
啊，
chips
那
as
这样
well.
的回量的话拿不了鱼啊。
He just showed a 9 and started taking the pot.
那个 SC 做裁判。
那你就 mark 嘛，你没听懂嘛？
对呀。
Oh
他
man.
可能忘了嘛，你反正他要
刚
就
刚
牌。
说了不让荷官说，你们又说。
That
刚
was
说
so
了荷
good.
官说要枪毙他们。
I love how the dealer started chopping the pot as well.
对呀，你
Then Elton had to
他永
kind
远
of
要开牌了嘛。
对呀，你不 mark
bring us back to reality.
我是 mark 了，
就你只有你 mark 他有一定概率会忘嘛。
对呀。
哪怕百。
Henrik saying, why have bounties like this? Just makes the game more about luck. I disagree. While the luck element of being dealt the pair that you've chosen to then win the bounty obviously plays a part, I actually think it's the psychological warfare that is involved in these kind of games.
Yeah.
That is where massive edges can be made.
Yeah, part of it's about who can endure the pain.
Of course.
Or who can not be bothered by someone's extreme success, right? Like, these are real elements to these high-stakes cash games.
And I think in the private game scene, obviously, you know, 99% of it happening behind closed doors, this being a very rare glimpse into that world, albeit briefly. That's kind of what's been introduced in recent years, right? It's just like, okay, how do we add some luck factor to it so that we reduce the edge of the pros?
Yeah.
And then also, how do we add some tilt factor into it where, you know, people just can't handle the swings? Because I've been dealt my pocket pair 5 times in the last, you know, 6 orbits. And yeah, I think it's a great addition.
或者从你开始，
啊？或者从人家已经开启了嘛，对吧？
他是自己知道自己的，关我什么事情？
Straddle here from Handz. First pot of the new round of Squid. Flop pretty well, given the spot. King of spades, backdoor straight draw. Up against a button opening range. Might lose the pot though. Good bluff card for 10.
那一个个能吃好几年。
哎呀，你拿了2个了，兄弟。
Oh, hello. Little backdoor Bangkok.
哪2个？我都忘了。
Joey Ingram likes to call it.
99试试。
对呀，99试试嘛。另外一边一个，这边一个。
哪一个
？60。
另外一边一个嘛。
我这里啥时候拿过试试啊？
拿个1把了。
And Handz walking right into it.
说你拿过你就拿过。
哦好。
Scary looking run out.
没拿过吧？
Trying to represent an ace or better.
他拿2把。
我意思说，我意思说那么无聊的东西有什么好争的？他说你拿嘛，你就说拿那么好。
不行，
又不会退给他的。
不行。
10 thinking about value.
没有，我意思。
Yeah, it feels mandatory.
哦，没有。
拿了1把，你拿了3把。
我意思是他其实没赢，因为你拿了2把，对吧？那你是没什么。他拿2把，其实跟我拿2把。
他2把，我才1把嘛，我肯定输钱嘛。
输钱的对。啊，你说总的是吧？所有人是吧？
So worth mentioning, those of you that have perhaps stumbled into this cash game stream and aren't aware of the fact that we have the Triton Poker Super High Roller Series running right now in Montenegro. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. local time, we're going to be going live with day 2 coverage of the 40k Mystery Bounty.
哇，漂亮！他为什么那么没原则？
So do join us for that.
我自己教自己的。
对呀。
所以没原则。
Stacked field as always.
没有自己下的。
do believe this is going to be
给你
the final
谢谢老板。
final Squid Game of the night. And we're going to wrap things up here. What's Handz thinking here? Here we go. He's just so good. He really is good. Now Sosia's just in a really uncomfortable spot. Yes, she's without the squid. They're down to 3, but do you really want to take a hand like Jack 9-0 out of position against Handz? She says yes. Accepting the invitation to tango.
明天要5万的了是吗？
Well played, Handz.
It's going to be hard for this pot to go in any other direction.
你洗不洗澡？你要洗。
Did Wayne have a 4, by the way?
Jack 4 diamonds.
I think so.
Yeah.
在
That's
做
right.
运动，
啊，对，在做运动。
对他
然后
基本上
就差不多了，
就
然后就可以去打比赛了，也不用睡了。
你真的是人才，你到那个点就事情多一点，就一定有点什么事。
真的很累最近。
而且永远是悄悄的。耶，Elton 人呢？我们打的游戏力还缺啥呢？缺？
能把7了。
啊？日常操作，妈的上这个桌就少钱的。
广告卖的特别多啊。
自己抓自己。
卖自己。马上来一个没摸。
Elton currently squidless. Suited king. Deems it enough of a hand to peel one off. Sosia folding the 8-7 on the bottom, by the way. Perfectly timed. Wayne has the hooks. Does this just go in pre? Given that both Wayne and Wang are without the squid? I think so.
It's a very large 3-bet. Not one that we're likely
70万吗？
to escape from after committing 90,000. Still 4 squids to give out, I believe. So there is time to fight for these. But ace, king, offsuit, and jacks, just a cooler in this game for 150 blinds or so.
Yeah, we haven't had many pre-flop coolers over the last couple of nights. Oh.
不3逼你就为了这个原因。
Let's come with the click 4-bet.
好好的一把3逼的牌。
How do you feel about this with jacks, by the way? I mean, are we still just fist bump getting this in?
No, we're like hating life getting this in.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a flat. Wang Yi could have some bluffs that we're way ahead of. King 9 suited. Ace 10 offsuit. Ace jack offsuit. Nothing wrong with a flat. But with this much in the middle, 300,000 out there, 530 behind. That's a big pickup for jacks if we just jam and get it through. We won't against this hand. He's gonna flat.
Yeah, there we go. Just keeping those bluffs in there, as you
还不能开
mentioned.
心啊！
3-9-1 in the middle. Just 4-4-2 back. Queen 6 deuce. This is the problem though, Kevin. Like, you're leaving some of these bluffs in here. Ace Queen O. One of those 4-bet bluffing candidates perhaps, and
Could be.
now you just, I don't know, it feels like you're playing a bit of a guessing game, right? When you see any overcard to the jacks.
I mean, is that not just at the heart of poker, Henry? We're
Fair.
all here playing a guessing game.
Fair. You're not wrong, Kevin.
Sometimes we just gotta embrace it. Venture off into the unknown and bluff catch with 2 jacks on a queen high board.
That's deeply philosophical. Perhaps too philosophical for 1 o'clock in the morning in a 2K, 4K, 4K game. But I like it. I think it was Confucius that said that, right? The quote you just hit us with?
Yeah, 2 years after he invented No Limit Hold'em.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
He got really good really fast. He had a good solver.
Let's see if Wang can solve this. Comes with call. $500,000 and change in the middle. Beautiful turn card for Wayne. Undercard to the jacks. If Wang Ye shuts this down.
It's awkward, right? 2/3 pot behind. How would Wang play kings here? Aces, ace queen, the key value hands. Maybe he would want to jam. Maybe he'd get creative and leave some money behind. When you have ace king, you might want to replicate this. It's a very attractive looking bluff on this board. He's coming with another barrel. I like this.
Non all in. And he just flicked in the 1K tip as well. That's pretty strong. Mid hand to tip the dealer.
10 给小费。
Got it through.
Here. 差点。
He's gonna see
哎
it.
呦，我真的忘了，差点扔进去。
That's brutal. That's really brutal for Wayne. Because he gets shown the ace king. You just realize if the money had gone in pre, he would have been just 1 card away from scooping a monster 7-figure pot. This is what I'm saying, Kevin, you know? When you just flat call the 4-bet,
You do love to go with results.
it just allows you to get outplayed.
I understand it.
Did he just get outplayed?
Does feel close on the turn.
Now, had he been sat there with aces, I would have been calling him a genius.
Yeah, of course. Navigating around
I do
a cooler, right?
love being results oriented in this game.
Sosia gets one through. Picks up a squid with that 3-bet bluff.
你也对我好。
Maybe talking a little trash to Elton as well after that glance.
差不多。对吧？
2 squids left.
2 squids left, eh?
都是自己打自己的，很难有人对你好。
Elton. Wayne.
很难打。
Who am I missing?
Esti, no? Don't think Esti has one.
Elton happy to limp call
Safe high, right?
against one of the other squidless players.
Yeah, Wayne's loving this. Has Elton dominated? 8-7 deuce, 2 clubs. Kind of feels too strong to bet. If that makes sense. Does that make sense, Kevin?
Yeah, if you don't fold out the stronger ace highs, if you're not getting value from like dominated Broadway hands, don't accomplish a lot by betting. Elton's range here also going to be quite wide, so some concern that those low cards connect with his range. Could have an 8, could have a 7, straight draw, plenty of flush draws. It's going to like seeing a turn check. Might even think his hand is best and go for a little protection now. Just checks it back.
Wayne's got the check mark at showdown. See if Elton wants to show down this ace high or try and get Wayne off of exactly this type of holding. Yeah, Wayne gets the table that one. A little bit of a bounce back for him. So that means Elton and Esti are the last 2 players without a squid. Don't forget, if you find yourself in that spot, then that is it. You owe everyone 10K. A $60,000 penalty.
Note the straddle.
Story checks out.
Esti's going to want to play this one.
It's on the button. Suited 2-gapper.
昨天有 SD 帮我鉴定，我看今天有没有礼貌。应该帮不了你。
Just limps in. Tan steps out of the way. They're just going to play this hand heads up as the 2 remaining players without a squid. Oh, and Elton's just, oh my goodness.
Oh my word. Hang on. Oh, this is hilarious.
Just 26,000 out there.
But it's just the fact that there's
2
gonna
massive
be
hands.
an insane leveling war going on. He's overbet with the 8-high flush draw. 30 into 26. And there is, of course, the 60K penalty to whoever loses this hand. Oh, strap yourselves in. Oh, he has covered the check raise. 80,000. We know Esti's not going anywhere just yet.
Flush draw more than qualifies. There's an implied 60K in that pot that you don't see on your screen because of the penalty for whoever loses this pot is going to lose this round of squid.
If a heart rolls off, ST's in trouble. 186 in the middle. Maybe we don't see a river now.
See what size Elton comes with. Let's not forget there's $825,000 back. As we shift our focus away from the squid and towards the potential of a 7-figure pot.
Yeah, he's bombed it here.
Elton bets 150. Almost pot, plus the implied squid payout. SD's going to be very tempted to keep calling, but some concerns that the bluffs are dominating flush draws as well. There's a chance we improve and make the second best flush. We're hoping we're up against a naked king, where we're very live.
I thought ST was counting out a raise there. There's $500,000 just shy in the middle. Last hand of the night. And fortunately for ST, he does not make the flush.
Only way ST loses more than another 60 here is if Elton checks. And just given his hand, dreams of ST having a king and not being able to fold it.
Yeah.
I just don't think we can slow down.
So you think Elton has to do the betting himself, yeah?
Big bet incoming, almost certainly. Maybe a king could check, but pocket 4 is just so strong going for value. Opportunity to cooler him.
I wonder if Elton just jams. That 1.4x spot. Especially given that this is the final squid. Yeah, 550k on the river for Elton. Has to show it. Wins the squid. ST very happy to see that one at Showdown. Even though he does lose 60k after losing the Squid Game. And there we go. I believe that is it for the night. The players are going to move back to their private room. Massive thank you, of course, from us here. It's been entertaining, Kevin. Massive shout out to the players for jumping onto the TV table for a few hours just for our viewing pleasure. What a final hand. So that is the end results for the night. Wow. Wang up a cool $1 million. Sosia Jang up 700k on the back of winning as much as she did yesterday as well. Had a great couple of nights for her. Handz finishing up 300k on the back of winning 1.4 million yesterday, so he's up around 1.7 over the 2 days. ST Wang winning a bit back here. Biggest loser of the night, Xuan down 1.4 million. Elton down just shy of 900 as we welcome you back to the break desk. Kevin, real quick, short stint. All the talk is going to be about that $2.4 million pot.
Nothing can overshadow that one. And the craziest part of that hand, Henry, that Wang and Xuan already had squids. They didn't need to have that collision, and just out of the competitiveness, out of the way that they want to play the game, you get the 3-bet with 7-4 suited on the button, this massive collision that doesn't happen between any other players.
I agree. I think part of it had to do with the fact that they were the only two players with a squid, and it was kind of like no, I want to be the table captain. There's just this leveling going on pre-flop and, of course, post-flop as well. Yeah, so obviously 2 nights of this bonus coverage. We had the $1.8 million pot that Handz won. We had the $2.4 million pot tonight. Who knows if we get more of it tomorrow, but what we do know is tomorrow, 2 p.m. local time, we're going to be bringing coverage of that 40K mystery bounty. Buzzing for that one because similar to, you know, some of the side games in this cash game stuff, you see some looser calls in the tournament streets where people are gunning for those bounties. So I think tomorrow we can expect a really fun day of No Limit Hold'em tournament poker. From Kevin, myself, the entire crew here tonight, we're going to wish you good night, and we'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. local time.